Uh,
How did you even end up in this situation?
I was working late on Thursday at home, and it was about 1 a.m. and I had this like super crazy pain in the bottom of my stomach. And then I moved upwards a bit and stayed there for about 3 hours and it got worse and worse. The fear is that whatever's happening to my liver is going to cause liver failure. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, if I had just had like a silent liver disease, that would have been much worse. But hopefully we'll figure it out. It's a little scary not knowing, like doctors not knowing what's wrong. I also, even though everyone keeps saying not to be, like it's a bummer to not be able to help out with the loboto level.
And we're going to remove Mia from the levitation tutorial completely, but not her voice. So she'll be talking in your head the entire time there. We just don't have the overhead to do the animation. There are a lot of cutscenes, and
our biggest risk is animation.
Yeah, our biggest risk is animation.
And VFX.
Hi, Tazio.
I'll just make Tazio work harder. I'll just do my favorite thing, which is stand over Tazio's shoulder and then tell him what he should be doing.
If we execute on Lobato and make Lobato as good as we all want it to be, I think that bodes well for the rest of the project. Like, I think that that'll set expectations that need to be set, honestly, about like what game we're making.
So the only way I see it really affecting us is just like it's a whole new direction now. Like the way people are talking to each other already and the way that the teams are kind of working already is like changing. And we will certainly be affected by that for sure. But I think in a good way. I think it'll be all right.
It's nice that they can now do what they want to do and make the game they think is going to be best.
Emily storyboards. Do you have all transition storyboards anywhere?
No, did she do storyboards?
Oh my god. You guys,
my God.
We need to talk about communication on this team.
Yeah.
There's
No,
a folder on
did she do
Cooper
transitions?
under art storyboards for Lobato that says all transitions. And it's all these wacky transitions in Lobato.
Oh, really? Oh, man. Okay, I didn't know about those.
Yeah. Yeah. Come on.
And hopefully Tim will get more engaged as well. I'm not confident that'll happen.
Tim's vision hasn't been the driving factor of this game for a long time.
Right.
And I mean, Tim kind of handed the game to Zach. I mean, I was kind of hoping to sit with him and talk over some of this stuff just to get his, not just the writing, but just kind of like, what do you think's gonna happen, man? What do you know probably better than anyone at this point? Like, where do you see this going? Because part of me is like, I'm just kind of sitting here just because I'm excited to see what happens.
I think the game would benefit a ton from him being a little more in the trenches when he's at work. And I know that's also almost impossible because he has so much to write.
It's a possibility.
Tazio, how's it going?
I'm doing okay. It's been a weird couple weeks. You know, Zach leaving, we had like right after that, we just had an insanely productive week.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Like if the difference between last Friday and this Friday is quite significant.
Yeah, I feel different about the project, certainly.
Ooh, look at this.
This is good.
Oh, it's so much better.
So much better.
Look at this room.
Good.
There's also just a lot of things that I didn't realize, like secondary effects of like the production before Zach left, where it's just like I felt disconnected to a lot of the decision making. So if like I ran into a problem or I had a solution, I'd like, you know, I wouldn't feel like empowered to sort of have a conversation about how to fix it because it would never be the time or whatever. And like I feel like also just because we are at the state of production where we're at, where we're like we just have to solve problems now. There's I think a lot of our problems previously have been about indecision and about like, it's like Zach would keep his cards like really close and be like, I'm looking at these things. And now it's just like, well, we need to solve these problems now. And that means I think we're taking these problems much more seriously and the state of the game much more seriously, which is necessary. And if there's like, if we have an idea for how to make it better, we can like talk to all the involved like parties and get that done. And I don't think, I certainly didn't feel that way previously.
The previous regime had a lot of power concentrated in one place. So I think a lot of people feel like they have a lot more authority because all of that sort of like disseminated down to the team. I certainly feel like I have more authority over powers, being able to make those decisions.
Because I was going to say, question, what happens to mental energy?
Well, right now we're not using mental energy.
Okay, that answers my question.
That's what we're trying right now.
You're trying it out. And that's the intent for the playtest on Friday to kind of see
Same
that.
thing, there's no ammo either.
Mental energy still turned off, right?
Oh, not only that, I have it removed in code. Yeah, I'm gonna submit that soon. It's so good. That was like that was day one. Just sitting in the seat, it was like there were two things like we shouldn't do mental energy. Cool, turn it off. Also, Side Blast shouldn't have ammo. Awesome, took it out. Like it was just quick things that we'd all just been wanting for so long that we could just do immediately.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's try it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do that more, and maybe I can just take my stress levels down to where I can be happier here.
I'm already seeing this emergence of, well, Jack's not here. We don't have to do that anymore, do we? No, it's not that easy. And then they get the other side of, well, Zach's not here. I can do that thing I wanted to do. And it's like, hold on, it's not that easy.
People want to put stuff into the game. They want to.
Yes, and we have to be careful about that. And the whole Leeds meeting was like, we have to be like very communicative with this team and make sure that they're very clear of like what passes and what doesn't, and if you have something, who to bring it to. It's just a new ball game. Like this game in general is just, it's quite an adventure. But yeah, it just feels like we have a really brand new road right now, and we have to be careful and thoughtful about where we go.
I mean, if we can actually be successful with Lobato, it probably behoove us just to redesign all of the team to be more level focused rather than discipline focused.
I agree.
Do you want Ryan on there?
Yeah, I do want Ryan on there. The question is, like, with his leave being what it is right now, I want to specifically ask him, like, where do you want to fit into this?
Have you talked to him yet?
Yeah, we've been. Yeah, he is aware of the situation.
How's he doing?
He doesn't know. This is the actual answer.
I'm concerned. I want to make sure that Ryan's okay. I think Ryan is a good designer, and I think he has some really good ideas, but I also know this is like super personal. He's good friends with Zach.
Where have you come to us from? Previously, I worked at Crystal Dynamics for a while. I worked at 2K for many years. So
That's where he was.
Yeah, that's how I know Zach.
In the time we have
Where have you come to us from? Previously, I worked at Crystal Dynamics for a while. I worked at 2K for many years. So
That's where he was.
yeah, that's how I know Zach.
in the time we have remaining, and I really want to say this, I really suggest either as leads to our disciplines or as a leads team in general to the entire team, we tell them we trust them.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of duress on the team right now, and they've been through a lot. And I think it would be a very good message to just get in front of them and say, we totally back you guys up. We know you can do it. As far as leadership, for me, the whole thing I was saying is you have to trust your team. Like, you have to. That's how you are a leader. Even if you don't think they can do it, you put across that you trust them. Otherwise, what have they got? If you don't have that, then like all you have left is just like regret and doubt, and it just snowballs. I've done that. I've certainly done that. But on a project this big with this many people, you cannot afford to do that. You have to believe right till the end. I am impressed with Tim because he does do that. Annoyingly so. Like a month before ship, he's like, oh no, we can do this. I'm always amazed by his capacity for that. And it inspires me against my will because I don't want to do it. But I'm like, yeah, maybe he's right. And that gets me in trouble. But like, it's a good leadership quality.
Well, I mean, right now we don't have a project lead. And, per the conversation I had with Tim this morning, we ain't going to be getting one anytime soon either. So
when he said he was going to be more involved, did he think he was going to be that involved?
I don't know. I don't know. I know he said that he has admitted that he needs to be more involved. But no one has sat down and had the question of who's going to be the lead. That hasn't even come up yet. No one has even brought that up. But it is on us then to decide what we do.
People are very polite to each other here, and so I don't think we're having the uncomfortable conversations we need to have amongst leads. It's just like you do need a project lead, you do need one person, and that person should be Tim.
No, you're right. No, you're right. I think, maybe the most important thing that this project needs after everything we've been through is for Tim to go, all right, everybody, I am the lead, I'm the project lead. And I think there's a lot of people that would go, thank goodness.
So, I obviously want to get more involved on the team. I still have this thing where I'm going to be locked in my room a lot writing because a lot of people need a lot of writing done, and I don't want to hold up that stuff. But I feel like talking to people, and it's going to be annoying at first because I have to do a lot of catch up on some of the deep design stuff that I don't know what's going on. I'm going to have to sit and meet with people and ask what's going on and find out where things are at. But I feel like there's a lot of things you can, just by asking a few questions, I found some things that are kind of lingering open design issues that I feel like it's okay now to close a lot of these things up and move things forward and push things forward. You see that happening a lot in Lobato already. A lot of things are getting decided once and for all, and but that's what I want to continue doing, is meeting with people and see where things are, finding all these open issues and kind of closing them up and moving things forward creatively when I'm not locked in my room. So you're going to see a lot more of me, and I'll be talking to you people, and I don't mean you people. Look at Ben. You people. I keep forgetting to stare over everyone's head when I say so you people, but that's what I'm going to be doing. So I'm getting back involved more in the project, and Psychonauts is very near and dear to my heart. I've been locked up in here writing for a long time, and it's hard because it makes you kind of, in some ways, you have to be really in touch with the game because you're creating the narrative parts of it, but then you get kind of out of touch with the team because you're locked in your closet all the time. But now I've been going back into meetings and checking out the team, getting really involved in the Cube of Caligosto, which is the Dr. Lobato intro to the game and that level. And I don't know if you heard about this, but there's a trade show in LA called E3. No one knows what it stands for, but it's coming up. And we're going to show Psychonauts there for the first time kind of ever. I have to drink his coffee now. That wasn't weird.
There are reporters poking around.
Yeah, they're calling. I think they want to find out a riot level of misconduct type of thing, but that's not what happened here. Could write a book about it years from now, but who knows? I mean, that's one of the reasons I want to show really well at E3 is because when management or anyone big and important on a team leaves, it's like, what's wrong? Is that a troubled production? And all productions are troubled. But yeah, it brings a question like, is something wrong? And so I like to show that we're making a good game. Everyone know that. How do you feel? Good. Welcome back, James. Hey. And anyone else who just came back from vacation or near-death experiences. Yeah.
They're kind of integrated, so they're very specific. So
I just posted about this in Slack. You guys were talking about this and also posted about it, and I was wondering, why is it in several swoops and jerks? Why isn't it just one long extended thing as you get closer, he gets farther away?
So before you got here, we actually said, we thought that was your comment.
Yeah.
It was mine. It just feels really swimmy, and I don't really know why it does it like that. It seems like it would just be easier to just push this one linear progression out.
Yeah, I get it, Tim.
Otherwise, I have to write that dialogue again. I don't want to do it. If you got it, it'd be done
look any
already.
faster.
If you got it, it would look good.
Guys, please don't
That
fight.
really hurts.
I really want to get along.
Yeah. Okay. Save that for the trailer for the documentary.
We have an example here where there's you can see Dr. Lobato at the end of this hallway, and you're supposed to be chasing after him. So you go to run after him, then the hallway is going to start stretching out in front of you. And we can do that pretty simply now by just placing a portal there and then moving the portal along as you get close to it. So right now, looking at this, it's pretty clear that even if the player doesn't know exactly what's going on, something funky is going along this border here.
It's like mask lines.
Yeah, it's I want to be able to create these experiences where people have no idea how we're pulling them off.
I think that's it. If you guys have any questions, Andy has some more things about more detailed ownership things. Yeah, it
Yes.
looks like a little speech on your phone.
No, I have notes.
Okay.
Just to make sure I hit all my points. Yes, thank you, Tim. So we've been talking about like different people owning different things. What are these features we're working on? Who's kind of the contact person on that and driving that forward? So we all just kind of like got that on paper. List of main game features and who is working on them. I wanted to just run down this with everybody. It's just stuff that everyone's already doing, but it's important to put this out in paper, bring it up to everybody here in the group and go, this is what we're doing. Powers, gadgets. Amy is the owner of that. Player is Devin. Devin owns all the player stuff. AI and combat's Anna. Anything that's AI, combat related, Anna's the point person on this. Aaron does cameras and portals. That's it. That's it.
Kind of accurate.
Levi is simply lighting. Good luck. Economy is owned by Lauren. Game systems, this is a big one, which of course goes to He. He put some examples up here, miscellaneous systems like saving, loading, and quests, multi-spline mesh actors, whatever that means. Fast travel. I'm a producer, I don't know. I'm sure it's super important.
You really don't know though.
Yeah. Tim, would you like to talk about multi-spline mesh actors?
Some mesh actors have one spline. Not on Psychonauts 2. No, I mean, I'm not the project leader, but I am a lot more creatively involved. It's nice. It's nice to work with the team again and to see them. They seem happier, and it's nice to see them feel empowered and doing stuff, organizing themselves, getting stuff done, and talking to each other. You can see them all just meeting in the hallways and figuring out what to do and just moving forward with their own creative decisions.
So the number and complexity of portals in the level has gone down, which is good. But for the couple that are still remaining, I should go over with you like the specifics of like all the little things we should do to get those like in polished state, basically. How do we make them not look like mostly good, but like perfect? Right.
Did you guys talk about the hallway and how you want to finish this up? Because it seems like bugs and stuff, and it's piling up in here. So I feel like a whole bunch of people
This
need to
hallway
just
in
knock this
particular
out
needs-
tomorrow.
The hallway, we're moving on to it next as soon as Tazio finishes the exit cutscene stuff. Which is,
All right, cool. Let's keep going then.
And there's a bunch of just big sequences that need a fair amount of effect support. But then there's also this moment where you're running down this hallway and it stretches and it goes all crazy. And making Rise feel sort of small and insignificant.
Like messing with the camera, the FOV, or something to make it seem a little freakier or weirder would add to it.
Like a dolly zoom.
And we had a bunch of ideas for how to sort of handle this, and it's gone through a bunch of different hands, but there's a really good camera trick for doing that, which is it's something that we've just stolen from film. You truck in, and then you zoom so that the world just warps. Since we're doing that on top of moving the portal, that's adding this extra layer. Not only are we distorting the space in camera, we're also doing it in real life.
Cut to the outside of the mouth, and that's where you're.
Cut to the outside of the mouth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Am I good?
Right?
I got it.
Cut to the outside of the mouth.
I'm picking up what you're laying down.
Okay. Cut to the outside of the mouth.
What was confusing, Clam?
Me? I didn't say anything.
Clam.
Yeah. I think
We just assume you're confused.
Are you confused, Clam?
I am.
If Clam gets this, anyone will get it.
I'm confused at your question.
And then every once in a while, they'll hit a point where they have a disagreement, and I'm happy to step in and help them decide these things, because some things just have to be, you have to make a call and move on.
And just using him as a frame of reference of this is what we want.
Right, the way it was set up in the storyboard, there's an enclosed specific space that is where she is, and so essentially I don't have to extend this shot out.
And getting more involved means just playing the game and writing up annoying pages of notes for the team. But they seem to want that for some reason. Usually I'm delivering these notes and everyone's like, what the hell is this? What are these last minute changes? And now they seem to be really oh my God, thank you. This is great. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. And are those the animations they're going to use for that scene right there?
Which one?
For those walks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole thing was supposed to be they're all walking da-da-da-da-da, trying to act casual, but now they're all just bolting off.
We increased Raz's movement speed to be faster than a walk. And we can't have Raz
Why do we do that?
Because people hated the way it felt.
I don't care. That's not the way it's supposed to be. Okay. We don't have to talk about the whole meeting, but I would like to go over that with somebody in more detail and
Yeah.
go over the way that was supposed to be, so we can get that right.
Okay.
So then, Lauren,
That's
you
Lauren.
and you and Tim can sync up after this and
Me too.
find out the.
But everyone can complain about how they don't like slow walk. I just don't care. Because
Okay.
like it's only this hallway and the next hallway and then it's over. So just shut up, everybody. Because it's a very short sequence and people can cry all they want about it.
Okay, we'll get you two talking, and then we can talk to Devin about adjusting it to whatever you guys feel is right. 'Cause I think
We don't have to
Devin-
take every single piece of feedback that we get. Is my saying what I'm doing.
Okay, so Sasha almost playing correctly.
But it does seem like people want you to be telling them what to do. More than not.
I don't know what to say about that. Like on different projects, people's relationship with authority is kind of funny. And there's some people who they accept having their authority over them for whatever reason, and they want to hear stuff from that person. And then there's someone who they don't think should have authority over them, and they're like, that person should shut up. And figuring out, and so they'll take something from the person whose authority they accept, and they won't take it from the other person. And it might be the exact same idea. And so figuring out why people give their authority to some people, not others, maybe it's just trust, or they think they know what that person's about, and they just trust them, or they've just made a decision, or the person was just already in power. I don't know, I guess if you think you know what the values are of the person in control, you're more likely to trust them. Because maybe you can't see where they're taking you, but you trust they're taking you somewhere good. And if you don't have that trust with someone, you just are like, where are you taking me? It turns everyone into a backseat driver. Why'd you turn down this road, you dummy? Especially if you've never been on a trip with that person before. At least I wrapped up that metaphor.
It's good.
Thanks.
What's
Yeah, he's supposed to be talking with or hearing
There's
Sasha.
a
by
trigger
now.
to talk with Sasha.
Hey, did you kill all enemies?
Yeah, if you kill all enemies, the game breaks. Yeah. Yeah, if you hit K, the rest of the level
Tim, we're
won't
doing
work.
great.
We should just have this meeting on Friday with the playthrough build.
You could just
guaranteed to work.
You could just play from here. For that
I heard
shit.
that before.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's like some of it's also just about like coding the level, getting like establishing a baseline and figuring out like how we need to do things and running into the problems as early as possible so that we have time to fix it. Yeah, but it seems like there's no way that this isn't going to be really hard.
On the environment side, we're gonna start sweeping from the beginning to the end and polishing it. Scripted cutscenes, since there are 4 designers, we're gonna split you guys in 2 sections and we're gonna attack them that way.
Close enough. I'm just gonna get out of here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Tim.
Bye.
Hey Tim,
Yeah,
how'd you feel about the
lighting's
timing
messed up.
of the coach right
I told
there?
James
It's baked though,
it's
like,
like,
that's just
like
how
coach
it
should
is.
be like in front of you when you say coach, and he should be running past you.
Raz is like blurry here, even though
I
stopped. I paused it because you were saying something. You were saying something.
Oh, that was great.
Oh, that's awesome.
You guys. That's super cool. Because there's like an emotional connection between that technique and the story that we're trying to tell in that moment. It just like, it feels like it just fundamentally works. And especially at this stage of production where things are just like, kind of like pretty suddenly coming together, having those moments sort of stand out as being like, oh, this is hitting that mark that we're trying to achieve. It just feels really good.
Get some rest. We're gonna need it next week.
Woo! Okay. And is that going to be there and then you're going to sync up or how? I saw the spec for it. Yeah, but so
And last week I was in Los Angeles with our pal Jack doing some voice recording for Psychonauts, and it was amazing. We did Helmet on Monday, and then he recorded the song on Wednesday, and Peter McConnell and Camden and Paul were on the phone, and we had a lot of fun.
He's the one who's got to do the performance, so.
Exactly. Hi. How are you?
Hi, everybody.
Hey!
Am I on camera? Hi. Woo. You guys look good.
Shall we start rocking?
Oh, we had an incredible session in LA with Jack. He's playing the brain in a jar. And in the game, you kind of help bring it back to life and help it remember who it is. And it turns out it's Jack Black. Power.
Battle of the fucking...
Power bellies. But he gets to have a song, which is amazing. He agreed to do it, and he's like, I usually sing my own songs. I wrote the lyrics, and then Peter McConnell wrote the music, and then Jack interpreted it in the character that he's playing. Neither skin nor bone, lost alone.
Lost alone. Just a thought is all I've got. Now my cover's blown. Oh, nice. Yeah. Let's go on to the next, right?
Yeah, I love it.
When my friends pulled me back up, I started healing.
One other just character thing on this, to me, like when he's doing this whole bit, he's got just a huge grin on his face. Like he's just super happy about it. Like he's been so bummed at the beginning of the song, but now he's like, fuck yeah, I'm me.
Right. Now I can feel out the galaxy and hear the flow of time. It's been so tense, but now I sense a reason to this rhyme. Senses are the magic keys to fill the holes I've had. I took my eyes off the lyrics because I was playing to the camera. Let's go again. Unlocking all my memories, which I never Oh, that bad.
It's a strange note because it doesn't go with a harmony.
It's such a funny word to sing. Bad. I just do it a few more times and hope that I stumble upon magic. Bad.
That's a great one.
No. Let me go one more. There's just something about singing bad really loud and long that is inherently funny to me, and I'm trying to make it good, but no matter what it is, it's always bad.
That was the one, actually.
The whole band Bad Company was based on the premise of being able to sing that line.
Bad Company never ended on bad.
I don't know whether this is helpful or not, but I was just kind of thinking of Grace Slick on that line.
Yeah.
Quite rapid and also does
Yeah,
what's
Jefferson
allowed.
Airplane.
One pill makes you stronger, another makes you small.
Let me do some different ones that are going to be slightly annoying to you, but I want to try some different things. Let's hit it again. Bad. Never, 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 never bad. No, 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 never bad. Never bad. Never bad. No, never bad.
Oh, why'd you stop? That's.
You said where the rest of the song is just going off on how never bad it is.
I love it. Zach McClendon is no longer the project leader of Psychonauts.
It's something that nobody wants to have happen.
The other conversations are more acquisition based.
So acquisitions.
Somebody swooping in and buying the studio. I'm just kind of sitting here just because I'm excited to see what happens.
But there's a trade show called E3, and we're going to show Psychonauts there for the first time kind of ever.
If we execute on Lobato and make Lobato as good as we all want it to be, I think that bodes well for the rest of the project.
In the E3 build doesn't add a lot of work for them. So, but there is work to be done to finish the level.
Yeah. How much actual literal work days and time do we have?
4 weeks.
Okay.
Well, we have till the 7th, which I think.
And this was the meeting about scoping of the demo, right?
And the rest of the level, and just.
I mean, I feel like those
You
are
guys gotta call me
two
when you have
very
these kind of
different
meetings.
conversations,
You guys gotta
though,
call me.
right? Like, I know that there can't be that much more done for the scope of the level past E3. However, the process for E3 and what we're actually going to put in E3, that's like a very different discussion to what we want the shipping version to look like. Am I wrong?
We don't have time in the schedule to go back to Lobato, so essentially what we do for E3 is kind of what we're going to end up doing for the shipping version.
That's the difference I'm anticipating.
Yeah.
Is that I don't think E3 is going to be shipping, but I like the idea of treating it like it is.
I think we have to treat it like it is. Andy's going to say that that's the
I mean, we can't work on Lobato for very much longer. Like, we've been on this for months.
It's been crazy having so many people working on Lobato. I mean, just in the last month, we've gotten a lot of stuff done. The level is totally different than it was a month ago. And it's really inspiring to see how much everyone's able to get done when we all kind of push together as a group. I think you know, we'll probably be okay. We'll make it for what we need to get done for E3. But there's definitely gonna be a big push from the team to make that happen.
Not for nothing, the team has done a really good job of coalescing around this.
It's amazing. It's so
amazing.
good. Every single time I play through the thing, it looks great, it plays great.
But we've got to get to a point where we can agree on what we're not going to do.
Yep.
And stick to it.
I mean, just from a scheduling perspective on this level, we have 4 weeks to do those things that I listed. I feel like that's reasonable.
But redesigning areas right now is too risky.
And I when I hear that like someone's even considering that, like,
Because what that leads to is more cutscenes.
yes, right.
No.
Like, and we can't do that. I mean, the animators did a bang-up, kick-ass job.
But
over
it's
the last
keep asking
2
them
weeks.
to work like that for another
Yeah.
4 weeks. Like,
Right.
it's not
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. Yep.
I'd rather just polish what we have.
Yeah, I'm real sorry. I don't mean
Don't apologize.
have a tone.
Don't apologize. It's high time. I don't have any patience left for this stuff. I just don't. I just, everyone wants to have their cake and eat it too, day in, day out.
So you guys ready to tell me what is hard about the cake room? I've missed a lot. You
So
guys,
the
I've heard a
cake
lot
room-
about the cake room is
I know.
haunted by a demon.
It is haunted. It has gone
It's
through many
killed
iterations.
3 different team members.
So I like the narrative of the cake room a lot. Like the weirdness of him sinking into the cake is awesome. It does have a huge animation overhead, and the room itself needs to be completely gutted and redone because it's not a good action path.
From an action plot standpoint, it was very disorienting.
From a gameplay standpoint, it's not good.
Yeah, it's built on 90
I mean,
degree
could it just be
turns.
simplified? Like, I don't know if that action path was teaching you much anything except for a double jump or anything. Because I mostly just want to keep the cake and the smashing of the cake and then Lobato falling into the cake. Is that all the hard parts?
The question is it lower priority than the impossible corner? I just think from a pacing point of view, I'd rather have the impossible corner than the cake room.
I don't know that you can have either yet.
Yeah, so here is an example of one of the places we're currently using portals in Lobato in order to construct a space that wouldn't normally be physically possible. So you run inside this little area. There's going to be a cutscene that's going to kick off. We'll cancel the cutscene. And we're going to keep running here over to the left. And normally you'd only be able to turn left a couple of times, but we can just keep doing it over and over and over and over and over again. And it's not currently shown in the scene now. We're going to add art to the scene that's going to change every time you come through. We talked about the idea of possibly having like paintings that tell a story that sort of progresses as you go through.
The Impossible Corner, I just want to say, like, let's not do that because it's just so much.
A lot of stuff we already cut. Look at that. So much cut stuff.
Oh my God.
Wait, we should put all that back in. That in. Put that in.
Don't show Tim all these things.
These are the concepts for the pyro. And this is why, like, this is what I was talking about. Like, it's supposed to, like, this to me makes way more sense than what's there right now. And it seems extremely art heavy.
Yeah.
Yep.
But this definitely, like, makes it be like, oh, okay, like, I get it. Like, I'm going down a hallway.
And this is why I'm talking about, like,
yeah.
I say you could do 1 out of 3.
I mean, I think there's only so many hours in the day.
Let's run through. Should we just take a vote and be like, what are we cutting? Because, like,
Tim, what do you want? Like, that's.
Well,
let's ask.
Go for what you're willing to let go. Because everybody wants to keep everything.
Yeah. They all cost $1, and we only have $1.
Do we only have $1?
We only have $1. We have so much less than $1, actually. We have like
$3, still E3.
We owe money.
Like, I think if we had, if it wasn't for E3, I wouldn't be nervous. But E3 puts this hard, fast deadline on it, and so we had to have this stuff done. So we keep, in some ways, shrinking how much we're going to make just to make sure that we can make a really good piece of it. I have to do it on another meeting.
Is that it is.
What's your phone?
Art-wise, it's not a problem.
Animation-wise?
It's animation and
emotionally,
scripting are the
what's
two
your
things
vote?
that I'm very concerned about there. Yeah.
I think if we have to do just the pyro, the end of the room with the pyro, and the easy version of the Impossible Corner, I think that would be a plan.
Let's do, the low scope pyro changes and then Impossible Corner.
Super on board with that.
Can we never talk about the cake room ever again? Thank you.
So happy. So we have cutscenes and transitions coming in. So that work becomes one of those red underlines as well, because that'll be new work coming in and verification that it works and probably tweaking. So that's another thing that has to be done.
Yep.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
We'll figure it out.
No, we won't. We're figuring it out in this meeting. That's what this meeting is for.
I mean, yeah.
We'll figure it out.
See, because I'm going to plug all this into Jira, and then I'm going to make all of y'all estimate it. And then I'm going to see how much it's over by.
Oh my God, it's going to be over by a lot.
We've been saying 3 weeks, but it would be great if we think we could do this. We really only have.
We shouldn't fill the 3 weeks because that's just not like we're not going to.
Yeah, we should fill 2 weeks because we're boned for the next 2 weeks, no matter what we do.
Yeah.
I mean, like I told the story before about being my 20s, working on Monkey Island, and Ron just coming in our doorway and being like, hey, it's getting to that point where we've got to start working nights and weekends. And me and Dave were like, yeah, high five. like, what else are we going to do? Go home and eat Chinese food and watch TV? Like, at least that's how I felt, and we didn't feel that, exploited at the time because we were so excited to be making games and until halfway through Monkey 2, and I was like, we're making $3.50 an hour, Dave. We're not getting paid. This is terrible. But we all laughed and then went back to work on it. And I just think we're against crunch mode. We talk about it publicly. We talk about it with the team. We made our assurances.
And if all of that is in and perfect and amazing, then we can do the Impossible Corner.
I am completely against the sustained crunch. I will not make my team do that. It's kind of a principle for me at this point in my career. Just cut it. Just cut it.
That's my vote.
Just kill it. Kill it with fire.
My concern is that we got Tim to agree to cut the cake room.
Yeah.
One of those things has got to be in.
We don't know that. He's not in this room. I would not speak for him like
this. He literally said, I want it. And then when he leaves, we're like, oh, no, it's fine, let's get her in.
You guys have never worked on a game with Tim before.
How long would it take you to hook that up?
Trying this out would probably take less time than this meeting.
Really?
So here's,
like, you could go hook that up, like, real quick? Because last time you said it'd take 2 days.
Like, for us to actually try different solutions to make it fun, yes.
That's too many days.
If Seth takes the minimum amount of time
I think the thing I believe in is that you can't just sit around and argue about stuff forever. You have to just try it one way, try it the other way, test it out. You know, sometimes you got to give something a chance to be really implemented correctly before you judge it.
The thing is, though, is it's always going to be a back and forth with Tim.
Yep.
He is very reasonable, but there are also things that he is very passionate about that he wants to get into the level. So, like, we're going to have to pick and choose battles, and
Is this
we have
one
to-
that we want to?
I say we want to cut it. He says he wants it in. Let's see how much
I
he
think
actually
he wants to
wants
see
it
us
in.
try.
Yeah, I think that's exactly.
I think he wants to see us try. So I think we should have Seth do his exercise.
Yep.
But I think putting animation and art resources on that right now, not gonna happen.
Okay.
I need a real painting. Well, it goes the other direction? Oh, a paneling? Oh, they're like an S now.
Oh, we don't even need portals to do that.
I can't hear what Raz is saying. Is it because it's Scratch?
It's just very quiet.
Cool. I love this.
Oh no!
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Bad cam.
He's got real snapple too.
Obviously, that's still being worked on.
Yeah.
We have to talk about whether we're keeping the impossible hallway or the impossible corner.
I mean, does anybody feel like it's amazing, we need it, or is anyone like?
I don't want to
"Nah"?
handle it like this. I've just seen it for the very first time this time. I don't want to throw it to a big committee vote right now.
Okay.
I mean, I've been pushing on this for two reasons. One is that example that we looked at is exactly the kind of weird dream logic stuff that we need to have in our levels, where it's like it feels not like the real world. It feels really weird to me. And so if we could achieve that, that would be really cool. But there's also this just like a process thing that I'm trying to get to where we often come up with this idea. Here's a great idea, and it takes like 5 steps, and we'll do like 2 steps into it, and they're like, this isn't working. Here's another idea, and then we get 2 new steps, and we go down that, and it's like, well, that's not working either. And then it's like, let's cut this whole thing because we obviously can't do it. So I keep asking about it, but I'm not sure.
I just want to know how you guys want to pay for it. Because all of you are booked for this sprint. So you're either going to have to work late, or you're going to have to take something you were assigned and get rid of it. Those are the options.
And since we're not sure we pay off, I mean, I guess I'm convinced that it's not something we can pull off in the time, you know?
There's no reason why we couldn't put this somewhere else.
Yes. Sure. Tim, I agree that I do want this gag to appear somewhere.
All right, cool. Thanks
All right.
for trying. Thanks for winding it up, Seth.
I think that they're thinking about the well-being of the team and what's actually accomplishable, and maybe Jeff takes on too much, but
Jeff does. Yeah. It's funny because I think some people will be scared because he's so, he can be really growly and grouchy, but no one takes it that seriously. You can make a supercut of him in meetings going, oh, that was supposed to get done. I'll do it tonight. Someone was supposed to do that, but they didn't do it. It's a really nice guy.
I'll fix that teeth. I don't think anybody heard it.
Thank you. Mostly fix whatever the hell happens in the pyro hallways.
I just need to redo the work that I did yesterday.
Oh, no big deal.
This is a minor thing with that chair, with the white material.
He mentions tonight often in his task list. You're like, what do you mean tonight? You're like, what?
You know, we're all working on this level together. Like even if you're happy with your thing, if someone else is not going to be able to finish, it's up to us as a team to work together to make sure that happens. Because it doesn't matter if you've made the most beautiful thing in the world. If something else fails and we put that in front of a bunch of people, the whole thing will have fallen down. So it's on us collectively to put the best thing forward that we possibly can.
a lot is riding on this Lobato stage, making a big impression, and the future of the company.
What?
Right?
No, those stakes. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like E3 is gonna decide whether we're a company anymore.
Mm-hmm.
There's other things deciding that right now.
What can you say about those things?
Nothing. So let's talk about business and stuff. We have ongoing investment talks that we've mentioned here before briefly. They have all made positive progress, but nothing really like that we can nail and talk about. But nail, yeah, whatever. It's going well. We hope to wrap everything up and know much more about our future before E3.
Yes, hopefully more to say soon. E3 is the goal for a lot of this stuff, so we'll let you guys know when we have more to say.
And this Friday, I'm going to go down with someone from 2Player maybe. And someone,
that's right.
Okay. Record our old friend Elijah Wood is going to be doing the voice of Bristol for the game. So we're going to go down there. Spoilers.
He's used to us now.
Yeah. And we're used to his Rice Krispies. If he doesn't make Rice Krispies, we're pretty mad.
So guys, what do you want me to do?
Oh, hey, this guy.
There he is.
There he is.
Oh yeah, you sent that to me.
Yeah. Can
So I just got they only sent me the script this morning, so I've not even had a chance.
Memorized it?
Barely had I looked at it in the car.
I'll tell you the whole thing.
Tell me the
Right, okay. So,
Did you even have to audition him, or did you just like sign him up?
during the campaign, I told him on Twitter we're doing this. Like, hey, do you want to do voices? He's like, yeah. And then I was bugging him about this one. And so there's a whole level about that.
God, that's insane.
That's a whole different
That
level.
sounds awesome.
It should be really cool. And it ends with Jack singing a song at the end, and it's a big putting the band back together is kind of the structure of that level.
Wow.
So inside the brain, it's Helmet and it's Jack's voice, and then outside the brain, what's in Nick's body, it's the same character psychically, but it's your voice because you're doing that.
Did you see Flash Gordon?
Yes.
The one from 1980?
It's
so
so awesome.
good.
That movie's
So he's kind of like Prince Voltan.
Okay.
Brian Blessed.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
like,
stop.
but it's that. But it's totally that. Like it's
Okay.
it's larger than life.
Magnanimous.
See if I can find.
Yeah. Oh my God. So good natured.
And this is Helmet's mind, is all this crazy psychedelic sketches. He's just like,
Oh
he
my God,
evolves,
that's
he gets
so
body
cool.
parts as you progress in the level. And then in Helmet's,
Guys, you get to make this for a living. How
fun.
exciting is it?
this is the band you put back together.
What?
All the senses, you bring the senses back together.
Oh, that's so cool. Nose blowing horn. That's rad. Is that an
Okay.
ear drum? Nice. Yeah. Nice.
Here, we're not above that.
Pretty cool.
Oh my goodness.
All right, let's go discover who this guy is. Oh, this is amazing, you guys. This is insane.
He's such a pro. I love him.
I am aware of the position of my body in space and time, and space is aware of me.
He's
Is
the
that
most
the vibe that we're going for?
Everyone's
like,
crying with joy in here.
Why do I bother to talk ever? Because you are like a perfect creature from space. Oh my God.
Okay, these lines are really fun. Cats are food, but so are we. Cats are food, but so are we.
Oh shit.
I loved it.
Oh, fish and a fish of fish heads.
Yeah, that's how you know she's really mad.
Jiminy Christmas. Okay. May I please hear the last 5 waveforms of 42? Sorry, I touched the wrong button.
We're gonna listen to playback. I said that because Camden says that.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. How was Mia?
I loved it. That was great. She never showed it. She was very excited and
I'm
stuff.
so pleased.
She's very
Oh,
bubbly and
good.
stuff.
Camden sent me a mail and he's like, Tim is amazing. And I'm like, I know.
I just said all the things you said.
Oh,
How are you doing in
you
there?
are
It's been
the
an hour.
best.
Are you thirsty? Are you hungry? Like I have all these Chris Brown isms. That was great. Moving on. Hold on. I got to log. And then randomly ask the engineer what take it is. Just was that 78 A and B? And can you play me the second waveform on the last take? Oh,
You are
I've been
so
in this
nice.
room a lot, Chris Brown, with you.
May I please hear the last 5 waveforms? Perfect.
He's doing it.
Thank you so much. So we'll break. We're done with Nick. That was amazing. And there's a smoothie in here for you.
Oh, wait, cool.
I have so much fangirling to do at you, you don't even know.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Did something happen?
You exist is what happened.
Yay!
Yes.
That was awesome. We needed an actor of his caliber to pull this off. It's great roles for both Jack and Elijah.
When my friends pulled me back up, I started.
Oh my God. This is great.
So this is for the documentary, though. It's like us too. Yeah.
He's the best.
Wait, have you guys met? I'm like, wait, how is
We've
it
met,
that-
but we've never worked on anything
Like, hung out?
together or hung out. No.
We'll have to have a second house rap party. You guys can.
Yeah.
Um,
When is the rap? When are you guys rapping?
Well, that's a great question. That's a very topical question around the office. And I want to say one thing before we start. Can I say something?
Yeah.
Everyone's doing such a great job about making sure we get this responsibly done on schedule and stuff, but there's so many things in flux with the schedule. And as we know, the schedule is not currently funded to the end of the schedule. I'll keep working on that money problem, me and Greg working on the money problem until we have enough money to do everything correctly, getting the game done correctly. Because if we had to cut down to the amount of money we had, it'd have to be like done. We'd have to ship the game like really soon, like next week. Yeah, we don't have forever to make the game, but it's not like we have to solve the problem, and we have to solve the problem well anyway. So we are not trying to trim it down to. I don't even know what the current how much time is allocated to work on this level to the end right now.
3 weeks.
That's,
3 weeks.
That's not true. I need to figure out how much work you guys want to do in there.
Right.
So we can tell you a very scary date of how much money we would like you to find.
Yeah.
True.
Anyway, if we get time, I hope Microsoft buys us. Or Google. They're doing their thing.
I have my opinions.
We have our top men working on this.
I like Double Fine the way it is.
Right. We will see.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's talk about Psychonauts 2. What's happening in the world of Psychonauts 2?
Try and finish an E3 demo.
Are you guys working on an E3 demo?
Yeah, we are.
Fun idea.
There's a lot of cutscenes in our E3 demo.
Oh, gross.
They need, yep. Right. And,
no one likes those.
Yeah, so we're trying to import them and re-import them and then get the lighting done on them and make sure they all trigger everything properly.
I've heard they're very good.
Yes, they're looking for it. Actually, I played through it this morning right when I got in. I was like, wow, there are a whole bunch of new scenes in the game today. And they're pretty good.
So if Lobato is the first time the game is going to be like fun in that sense, do we have time to make the rest of the levels fun? Applying the lessons that we learned in Lobato.
It's a great question. Like, do we have the time to spend this much time on every level in the game? Because we're really putting like everybody on Lobato. But part of that's because it's unnaturally slow because a lot of these things have just never been done before. Like we never put this kind of level of polish on a scripted cutscene.
We should also try to get this stuff done as soon as possible so Levi has time to actually light.
Yeah, my biggest outstanding is the transitions with Lobato. So whenever those are ready for me, just tell me.
Well, we've done transition cutscenes before. We know what the things we tripped over last time were. So if we're tripping over things, hopefully it's new stuff this time.
Right.
So-
Boy.
Yep.
Time to start tripping.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's some fog pop there.
Please have a good weekend. Get some rest. We're still not done.
Yep. Coach is in the wrong outfit still.
CBTKEX.
Yes, what's the bug for that?
We need to do a pass on everyone's outfits in the transition cutscene.
There's a pop. There's a pop at the end of that cutscene. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
This is why I've taken up drinking coffee and beer.
Actually work, please. No more pop. Finally.
Cool.
Yay, it doesn't float anymore.
Why aren't the cabinets flashing? Did you guys not read the script?
I might be able to make that come back.
Can we get some more flicker on those cabinets, please?
I'm glad we can laugh.
There's a lot of pops in this cutscene.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the one.
What did you just do there?
I think they're all.
Rez just kind of go, slide it in like that or something. Did you see Rez slide like that?
Yes.
Okay. Yep. So
There's a
key.
major pop there too. Yep.
Whenever you enter a bug in Jira and you click it, I want to hear a key say, yep. Ew, there's teeth in the sink. Oh, that's gross.
mission is falling apart. You've lost control of Lovato.
Do I look like I give a fuck?
So long, asshole.
Tell it to somebody who cares. I'm Audi 5000.
Wow, what a bitch.
Ship it. That was a bug, Yoko.
Still a lot of work to do.
It's not that much. We, just have to cross, do lighting pass and everything till then, mostly.
I may have seen a nonsensical seam line in the carpet flyover in the intro. That's never been there.
Is that the opening cutscene?
Yes.
Watch again. What?
Levi just brought up a seam on the carpet in the opening cutscene.
You want to play it?
Run it,
that?
play it.
The Psychonauts rescue train.
You're crazy, Levi. I don't feel it.
There's no way Lovato is working alone. Today, we're on a mission.
Oh my God. Oh,
Just throw the whole thing out.
Okay.
I think it's a post E3 thing.
Okay. So at this point, Key, you should be the only one checking stuff in.
Yeah.
Yep. This concludes our dailies. Thank you, everybody.
Do you feel like it's feeling like Psychonauts?
I mean, just the mirrors in the development of the first project and the second project are so close. It's so weird. The things that were good and bad about the first project are good and bad about this one, and the feeling of the team, the morale, the ups and downs, everything's very similar to the first game. I feel like I thought we were going to be a totally different company doing the second game than we were in the first game, but in some weird way, it's like this weird fairy tale where we got reset back to who we were and had to relearn a bunch of stuff along the way.
Mm-hmm.
A grim fairy tale.
New engine, new people.
Always be closing.
What are those, Tim?
Gigi, what are all these papers I found on the printer? There's hundreds of these. This is an entire tree worth of Morale Corral posters you printed. I'm going to send you a picture of the tree that died because of you.
Hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
I'm judging by your calm grin.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good meeting.
I have a feeling.
I'm just imagining this is the most fucked up meeting to close a studio. Just really fucking with us.
Is everybody here?
There's some seats.
There's some seats right here, unless you are afraid to commit to this meeting. Jeremy,
I gotta,
come on here.
I have
What?
a thing. In 5 minutes, I gotta go.
Okay, so I had to read stuff off my phone just because I couldn't print anything with our printer, but it's fine. Okay, so I'm making some announcements here, and they're very, very sensitive and secret, and so I please want everyone to understand that we can't share this information with anybody for the time being until Sunday? Sunday. Things are going to be announced on Sunday. What's going to be announced is that we have signed a letter of intent with Microsoft to acquire Double Fine. So Double Fine will be becoming part of Xbox Game Studios. And what does this mean for us and you and everybody, and why did it happen, and what's going to happen? Yeah, wait, who's calling me? Who dares to call me? Hello? I'm in an interview. Oh, here. This is my wife, Rachel. She's calling me to brag about how she's going to go to Hawaii without me. Aloha. Yeah. Do you want to be in the documentary? Yes. Okay. What are you feeling? You have a question for Rachel? What do you think about crunch mode? Do you think game developers should work in crunch mode to finish projects?
Yes. Get it done.
Hey, don't you mind if I come home late and you don't see me all day?
Oh. no, but you gotta get it done. Work at home.
All right, right. Okay, thanks for your input. Don't you think my daughter will miss me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay.
Am I gonna stay in Hawaii? I need to book a place.
Okay, I gotta go. I'll talk to you later. Okay. Bye.
It's been crazy having so many people working on Lobato. There's a lot of pops in this cutscene.
Yeah. A lot is riding on this Lobato stage and the future of the company.
What? No. There's other things deciding that right now.
Starbreeze. Yeah. Are we a company?
Who knows what it's going to look like in 2-3 months. We have our top men working on this.
Oh, that's awesome.
This concludes our dailies. Thank you, everybody.
What's going to be announced is that we have signed a letter of intent with Microsoft to acquire Double Fine. So Double Fine will be becoming part of Xbox Game Studios. Why this happened was a process that started. We were looking for extra funding for Psychonauts and talking to various investors. We've been sharing in this meeting. We've been talking to a lot of different investors. And when we talked to Microsoft, they're like, we don't really do that kind of thing. But what if we bought you guys? And and we're like, so flirty. And I was, like, no, it's not really what we're about. We're a very independent studio. We've been independent for a long time. It's very important to us.
But it really sounds like, from everything we've talked, all the conversations we've had with Xbox, that the team won't really feel too much of a change. They're really have this concept of an unplugged studio where they're kind of trying to stay out of people's way and like find developers that they are excited about, that are making games that they're happy with, and just kind of let them do their thing.
Like, Microsoft really, really values Double Fine. Like, it was clear in their offer and everything they approached us and how they wooed the company. They really see a lot of value, and it's really a great recognition of everything that everyone here has been doing for the last 20 years.
I think we're all really excited about the stability that it'll bring.
But has this added any new clarity to the P2 schedule?
I mean, what it does mean for P2 schedules is longer. I'd say longer than it was before, which was...
How much longer?
It doesn't mean that we run out when the Starbreeze money runs out, which is like months ago.
The game is going to get the attention that it needs and deserves.
And you guys are leaving, you leave tonight, tomorrow?
Yeah, so I leave tomorrow for LA for E3. I've been doing like final scrambling of assets and builds and things. E3 is a special show for me. It was my first ever game show 10 years ago. I met Tim at E3, the first day of E3, so that anniversary is coming up soon. And we've had a lot of really good ones. We've had a lot of, like Tim and I have been in Microsoft press conferences before. I was like backstage playing Once Upon a Monster while he was out talking about it. But this definitely feels like it will be the biggest one we've ever done.
This is going to be announced on stage at E3, and I'm going to have to go out on stage and say something, and they didn't like my script, so I have to come up with a new script. I bought a Microsoft button-down shirt and everything, and they're just like, that's not funny. So, so nothing about us is going to change at all. I'm not listening to anything right now.
So I think it's still kind of setting in for all of us, and it probably won't be until we're down there in LA, like about to go on that stage, that it all totally sinks in. But it's going to be life-changing for him and for the studio and everybody.
This is good.
Hey! Pretty good. I don't know what I'll do with the part of my brain that we used to worry about money.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Let's do it. We're early.
Yeah, you know, we did a documentary about the making of the last game. And we're doing a documentary about this one too. And, oh my God, the camera's right there. Don't notice them.
Yeah, you're on it.
It's supposed to be about to me, like showing people at the creative process and stuff. But whenever I'm being embarrassed, Paul always shows up to make sure it's captured. Whenever I'm getting my hair, makeup done.
Well, and it might not be your thing. I mean, I'm just kidding.
Thank you so much. We're going to announce the acquisition. I've never come to E3 this early before. Usually we come, just show up for 3 days, do a bunch of press, and leave. This time we've been practicing all weekend. It's a big deal.
I figured.
Phil's got a second on shirt on. Looking good. You're distorting it with your muscles.
My Sub Pop code.
Oh, that is so punk rock.
That's cool.
How do I look? Do I look like I have cream cheese? I just ate a bagel. My worst nightmare, I should not have eaten a bagel with cream cheese. Right before I go, I'm in costume. Believe it or not, this is my fancy outfit for going out on stage. Oh man, I'm only wearing one pair of socks. You gotta top me in every way. Every way, you're so competitive. Oh, how many pairs is Tim wearing? Just one? Okay.
I know, but you didn't get a note that your underwear lines were showing, so.
That was my call last night.
What are you even doing looking at that?
Oh, they look.
Good to see you again. Hi. Were you with us at 2002, E3 2002? Yeah, and we went to E3 2002. We went Best of E3. Yeah.
And I was there when you guys used to be in the garage.
Yeah. Okay.
I was talking to Greg about that. That was crazy. Yeah. And you'd like have to step over everyone coming in the door in the morning.
And look how it's all come full circle. Here we are at E3 with Psychonauts
Here
again.
you are. I know. So excited. I was like, it's very good. You excited?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. People are gonna, I don't know what people are gonna think, but it'll be something. I've been calling people, just last minute notifications to people like Chris Brown and Peter McConnell, and I can't get a hold of Peter Chan. I'm trying to tell Peter Chan, and before he finds out, I don't want him to find out in the news. I can make a phone call. I'll be hiding in the corner making phone calls. Sorry. There's no more quiet corners of this room now. There's so many people in it. Well, no, the news is that we're getting acquired. We're getting bought by Microsoft. Yeah. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun. It actually makes me feel excited about coming up with creative ideas, again, of my own, like being able to run a project without, I won't have to do any more biz dev, like I won't have to do any more pitching, I won't have to do any more traveling road shows, and asking for permission for things. We could just make fun games and then just tell them what we're doing and put them up. It would be great.
I just think I love the circle of the whole thing. I mean, it's very cool.
Yeah. Now we
need to get down to the studio at some point.
Now we just have to wait. I want to go out on stage now and get this thing done. I'm just tired now. I'm tired. I'm gonna mess it up on stage. I'm gonna blow my lines. Oh God. Oh God. Keep it together. Keep it secret. Keep it safe. It's almost over. It's almost happening. So close.
So close.
You guys are 43 minutes in.
43 minutes in. I just want to do it now. Can we just do it now and film it?
Copy everyone. Tim wants to go now.
Okay. We gotta start with Tim. He's antsy.
Tim's first.
1. Jesus!
Welcome to E3 2019.
Had to come out after Keanu Reeves. It was fine.
Honored today to announce that joining Xbox Studios is Double Fine Productions. Please join me in welcoming the founder and president of Double Fine Productions, Tim Schafer.
Hello. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you, Matt. We are so excited to be joining Xbox Game Studios. And I'm here to personally reassure you, Matt, I don't know what you've heard, but I'm a team player. Whatever you need from Double Fine, we'll make for you. Halo stuff, Forza stuff, Excel stuff, whatever you want, we are there. Yeah.
Tim, we just want you to make great games.
Oh, it's such a relief because I was totally lying. In that case, we brought a brand new trailer for Psychonauts 2. Take a look if you dare.
Yeah. How you doing, Tim?
Good, you guys. Cheers.
We did.
Yeah.
You battled the cool guy.
Now the real show begins. We get to see cool stuff.
You should buy some chairs. We're going to be playing a game the whole time.
Nice. Hey! Awesome. People are going to start showing up here in 10 minutes. So yeah, I want to let everybody know what's going on. That's the key is you want to set the buzz early in the week with all the big outlets so that people are coming throughout the rest of the week. I think we're about to get going.
Do we have the first group?
Yeah, they're almost there, yeah.
Okay.
Happy E3, everybody. It's begun. Yeah. Officially, yeah.
So are you guys mostly media or other things too? Media? Psychonauts, as you remember, is an action-adventure platformer. I said action-adventure. That's how you can tell it's the first demo. And so their first mission, the Psychonauts will do what they do best, which is to do kind of a Mission Impossible type heist inside the mine. Okay,
Yep.
great.
All right. Maybe. Maybe.
This is the first puzzle in the game.
Get it started.
We want to make sure people really know what they're doing.
Yeah, we get Aaron.
Welcome to the world of E3 demos. Something that was working 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, exactly.
So like we get everything set up and we were testing everything and getting everything calibrated and like, okay, we got everything running well. And then Tim goes in to run the first demo and like a minute later, someone comes out and grabs me like, Aaron, the controller doesn't work. And Tim's like,
Right from the beginning.
hey everybody, this is a programmer. We're gonna get everything figured out.
One of our 5 programmers at Double Fine.
Yeah, it keeps popping up and losing it. Do you want me to grab one?
Turns out we had a couple of USB extension cables chained together, and the computer didn't like that too well. Anyways, easy to fix.
3 days ago.
All right, we're in.
So I did a few demos for the press. The early ones for the press were very, they're very factually based, stoic, writing down things like regrets, doubts.
Why are you taking so long? I don't think you understand the gravity of the situation.
That's a metaphor for our demo experience.
It's kind of interesting. You have the like all the press and media people go through, and they're basically like stone-faced the entire time. It's kind of terrifying to go through and watch them play.
They want to keep that like I'm remaining impartial kind of vibe. So this is a little weird having people write their articles about the game you are live demoing, but whatever.
But at the end, Truman Zanotto, who is the grand head of the Psychonauts, sorry, the camp is run by the Psychonauts. That's really important, and I just forgot about that. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm just biffing it, making the company look bad.
But yeah, it's really interesting. Like there's a huge difference between watching the press or media sit through one of the playthroughs versus fans.
Has anyone played the first Psychonauts game before? Oh my God, so many of you! One guy who I loved from last night, I asked if anybody played it, and he was just like, "You weren't even born then." And I'm like, "Yeah, no, I've been born."
Hi, Hello. It's nice. It is like, I'm so used to doing these for the press where people are just like, because there's a much more smiley bunch. Well, welcome to our demo, and thanks for coming to check out Psychonauts 2. Raise your hand if you played the first game. Anyone play the first game? Okay. And then we did some for fans, and they were much more boisterous and loud and laughing at things, and that was really fun.
Did we see burning? Oh, you haven't changed, have you?
But then you have a group of fans come in and they get all excited and they laugh at all the jokes and they get excited when the characters are reintroduced and there's new enemies and all that kind of stuff. So that part's pretty great.
Yay, thanks for watching. Yay. So, yay, great. Well, cool, I hope you like that. And right after then, Raz dies and the game goes into a dream sequence. No, Raz wakes up and he's on the jet with Dr. Lobato. Hi, thank you. Woohoo! Thanks for coming, everybody. Hello! Hey! Hi, you guys.
This is so amazing. This is such a huge thing.
Is it? Scott Campbell came up.
What? It's real life. That's amazing. Whoa. That's amazing. 3D.
Isn't that great? Like we always hoped and dreamed.
Wait, that's exactly what it was supposed to be.
Yeah. That was good, so fuck off.
Which guy said?
The guy in the front, so there you go. No, I think it
it looks great, dude.
I'll cover up my microphone. You want to say what do you really think about the art?
Thumbs down, needs work. No.
Oh, Chris Brown came by, and Nikki Rapp, who does the voice of Lily. She's a great friend of ours, and she came by, and it was so nice to see her. And because she lives in LA, so it was nice to come down here and see her. And then Steven Stanton also lives down here, does the voice of Sasha 9. He came by, and he actually got to watch the demo, and that was fun.
Everybody who's anybody in the gaming world is here. I think I just saw Larry Nintendo.
Psychonauts 2, woo! You got nominated for some awards.
Oh, we got another one. Pretzel? Okay.
Hello, hello. Anybody?
Other prices before or after tax?
Uh-oh. These someone's classes? It's been going amazing. Like people coming out of the demo are saying like a lot of awesome stuff to us, and they all want shirts and pins.
Did you want a Raz pin as well, or did you want just the powers?
Yeah, and E3 exclusives this year are the blacklight poster and the cover art print.
I'm sitting out here running merch stuff. And all of a sudden we see like all the lights in the entire convention center flicker for a second. Like, oh, that's weird. Wait a minute. I go open the door to the demo thing, and sure enough, like everything is shut down and dead. I'm like, oh crap. So we had to, you know, whoever was in there, we had to usher them out, and then we figured, okay, we'll just boot everything back up, it'll be fine, and get back in there, and the TV is drawing like every other line of pixels as like this solid black line, and yeah. We had another HDMI cable. So I had my laptop with me, I rushed my laptop in there and like plug things in, trying to figure out like what has failed, what is broken, and was real nervous there for a moment that I was gonna have to like call in someone to go run down to like the nearby Target and buy us a new TV or something. After finagling with the sound system and resetting it a couple times, it eventually sorted itself out.
Hey! I did it!
But yeah, I'm guessing it was like a power surge or something, and something in the sound system did not like that.
There is a power surge. Sam's stoked about the power surge. There was like a loud like, but we still have power.
You know, Jack's such a lovely person, you know, and his family's fun, and they were very inclusive. Let us hang out in their dressing room with including my entourage that showed up behind me. I looked around me and was like, why are there 4 people behind me? Oh, I'm going to Jack's dressing room, that's why.
Hey, Tim's friends and associates. One more. Smash burger.
You're not gonna show me eating a hamburger with Jack Black, are you?
But the tour was great, right?
Fun, yeah. Okay, is it time to go? Do you guys, I think it's time for us to go on stage. Oh my God.
Did Bill Gates wine and dine you?
I didn't want to name drop, but yeah, it took multiple dinners in the wallet.
We got invited to the Xbox Employee Appreciation Party, which felt funny because we're like, wow, we're employees. I mean, I guess a lot of people have been employees but me. And now I was like, employees. And that was really nice because we got to meet a lot of people from the other companies like Ninja Theory, and I saw some old friends that work on the Forza team from LucasArts and LucasArts days. I mean, yeah, it was very warm and welcome. We've had catered food before. Big deal, big deal. Not impressed, Microsoft.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, this is...
I'm ready. The whole bag is gone. I think I need some me time. Social bar is going up and down. That's good.
Sleeping is not a crime. Sleeping is not a crime. If I could, I'd sleep all day.
I mean, I'm ready to go home.
Bother me some other time. Bother me some other time. I don't care. Please go away.
There's a creep behind me.
Give me a reason to get up in the morning.
It's a hard show. Like, it doesn't look hard, but when you come and do it, it's tiring. You know, it's a lot of being always on, like talking to people and standing up and, you know, working on things.
I'm about to pass out, so it's good to keep running.
I could use a cup of coffee. Tucker's been playing well. You almost missed it, but it added a little tension. Enjoy your last moments of E3.
And then we got a bunch of awards. You saw we got nominations and awards from different media outlets for the game, and the team got to see that, and that was nice.
Just received another award.
Oh, what a stage! Shaq News! Best teeth! Best teeth! Shaq News! Best teeth.
Best outlet.
That's awesome. Best what?
We won the best teeth of show from Shaq News, so job done. It's nice to have all those nominations and awards up there. I don't think we've ever had that many for a thing, so it's cool. I even know who some of them are.
Best teeth. Hi. Nice to meet you.
The game looks amazing.
What?
The game looks amazing.
Oh, you saw the
Thank
demo?
you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Thanks
Yeah,
for
of
watching.
course. The first one was awesome. So
Oh,
I
great.
cannot wait for this
Oh,
one.
that's awesome.
So it's quieting down, but you know the team's still here. We've sold out of shirts. We've sold out a bunch of other merch. Demos are still filling up, but it's going to be nice to just get out of here. Yeah, look at that creep. Yeah, it's been really, really good. I'm super glad we came, made our funny little booth, and yeah, it's been really, really, really good.
Now we're all relaxing. This is kind of our end of E3 party at the Airbnb we rented. Everyone's swimming or eating barbecue and chilling out by the fire pit. Oh God, if this will help dry my swimsuit. Yeah, nothing but lovely things happened all week, so that was really nice.
Give me a reason to get up in the morning. Give me a reason to see the sunshine. If you promise me that everything is perfect, I would be awake all the time. Sleeping is not a crime.
But we have some of it on film, maybe, no? Well, yeah, Paul grabbed some stuff. Oh, he's still alive. Look at him, Paul. The whole time Paul was hiding in the camera, in the corner in the camera. He's hiding in the camera. Yeah, you should have seen it. It was I was telling the story about how there was a documentary crew for Microsoft that was filming their story to E3, which is just for internal use, which is interesting. And they got yelled at and kicked out of the room, and Paul did not, because no one could see him. He was just so stealth the whole time. It was very impressive. What's that?
Do you have like a duck blind?
I think, he's wearing all camo. He was just covered in
ghillie suit.
People just believe he's allowed to exist. Like the same thing happened with Jeff Keighley and Jack Black, where they're like, "You're not allowed to film in here," and I was like, "Yes, he is." No, oh, okay.
I don't know if we've completely solved it, because I don't think like a lot of people understood it was a hospital.
There's pretty consistent complaints that the game is not psychonautical enough right now.
Zach McClendon is no longer the project leader of Psychonauts.
It's just a new ball game.
No, I mean, I'm not the project leader, but I am a lot more creatively involved. It's nice. It's nice to work with the team again, and they seem happier.
I do want Ryan on there. The question is, like, with his leave being what it is right now.
We're getting acquired. We're getting bought by Microsoft.
Did Bill Gates wine and dine you?
Well, welcome to our demo.
This is so amazing. This is such a huge thing.
Hi, Spaff.
How's it going?
You going to dance tonight?
Yeah, of course.
You want to go swim today?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Nice to see you all. How's it going? More, everybody. More. Don't look at her. Yeah. It's good to see you all. We are back from E3. We had a super exciting E3. I want to thank everyone who came down there. We had a big crew of Double Finers down there working the booth. It was a very heroic team effort. People were swapping in, giving demos, seeing people actually in there smiling, laughing at it, and enjoying the demo. That was super fun. I wish you all could have seen it. Well, no, we went through some dramatic staffing changes before E3, and kind of rebuilding the team after that and keeping everyone excited, especially when the project's been going on for 3 years, is always a challenge. And it was fun. It was fun. Yeah. All the Xbox studios seemed very excited to have us join them and working alongside them, because we obviously make it a lot cooler than it was before. So that was appreciated. What else happened in the world of business last week?
So we got paid by Microsoft, which is exciting.
Hey, now, so we're not getting paid for any acquisition-related things. We're being paid because they bought up the publishing rights. So they bought out Starbreeze.
Yeah.
That's Starbreeze hitting the, being thrown to the curb, hitting the curb out there. But they take on the publishing contract and they paid out all the remaining Starbreeze money at once.
Yeah.
That's how they like to do stuff. I like them already. They're like, what do we owe you? Let's pay it all.
Yeah. So that was nice. So that's good. And then we're kicking off due diligence stuff now.
It's mostly about ownership and lawsuits.
Yeah. So today we get the big list of all the docs we have to pull together and everything, and then we have calls with them. It's all going to ramp up quick. All the other studio heads talk to us about how intense this process is and how we're going to have a crazy 2-3 months here.
You know, it's not a done deal still. Like, we have months of due diligence still, months more of people coming down and visiting and looking at all of our stuff. And so there's going to be kind of ongoing negotiations and things still. So we're not really totally certain how everything is going to shake out. And then ultimately, I think it's going to mean, you know, better salaries and bonuses and benefits for everyone within the studio. And it's stuff we can't like totally commit to because it's all part of the negotiation still. But it sounds like everything will at least stay the same, if not get better.
Everything's the same.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to change.
Yeah. On to the next thing.
Yeah.
Yep. Great. Let's talk about Psychonauts 2. Hi. What's going on over there in the
Well,
corner?
we did E3. That's done. Got our E3 demo.
Yeah.
Thanks to everybody who worked on that.
Yay!
What was the feeling? What was the vibe post E3?
So, we've been through a few different phases now. So we changed the team configuration. There was a aversion on the team to a really strong top-down management that we'd had before. So we took that away, and then I had a feeling that they would rather be on their own for a little while, so I didn't just step in as like project leader right away. And the team was self-organized right away, and they were very motivated. They started working on Lobato's level, which was going to be our E3 demo. And they did a great job on that. And then I felt like I wanted to get a little more involved because I felt like that natural momentum from being on their own for the first time was going to die down, and we want someone to help them make creative decisions quickly on the rest of these levels.
What are we waiting for?
I was waiting for Ryan, but
there he is. I think that's Ryan.
Ryan.
Yay.
I'm very sorry. There's a chair over here, Ryan.
I wanted to start coming to these meetings, if it's okay with you all,
Yeah.
if you guys don't mind. Because I've been getting more involved in the project and injecting myself ad hoc wherever I see people vulnerable to input. From a really high level, I wanted to say something about the state of the project and where we're at in that our situation's changed a little bit. We have been acquired. I'm gonna pretend, I feel like the documentary is gonna feel like that's the moment I announced it. Everybody, we've been acquired.
Bye.
We have a new situation financially, which is good, which doesn't mean we now have infinite time to get the game made. We still want to get the game shipped next year because we put that in the trailer. But also, I think we don't want to work on the game forever, and we think there's a right time to work on it and the right amount of time to put into it. But I definitely feel like it changes the number one priority of our conversation from time to quality. I just want to take a moment and look at the game and look at each level as we come up to it in a holistic way and be like, are we hitting our goals with this level? Is this level psychonautical? Is it good? Do we love it? Is it great? You know, and I think that's going to bring up things of like, well, you know, we might need to change this thing. And I'm definitely not trying to reboot every level. Like, we've been looking at the different levels. They all need something different. So we need to be, have everyone, I don't want to be causing any panic attacks, so I think we all need to get on board with you. Still care about schedule, Andy, obviously. Still care about schedule, right?
Yeah, of course, always.
But it's not the same panic of like, we have too much stuff to get done in too short a time. It's like, what is the right what is the right amount of work to do for the rest of this game, and what do we really want to focus our creative energy on, right?
Obviously, coming back as seeing the way that they had shifted and seeing the way things had changed and the sort of some of the differences that people were doing in terms of work was, obviously something to get used to, but it wasn't wholly unexpected for me.
You had paternity leave?
I was on paternity leave for a little while, yeah. It was amazing. It was incredibly hard. Probably the hardest thing I've ever done, but it was also incredibly rewarding. So that was awesome. I'm super happy I got to do that. Thank you, Double Fine.
If I was going to break out the team structure from before to after, before Alpha, it was pretty heavily design driven, and then the artists and the concept artists would kind of react to what design was coming up with. And then after Alpha,
I want to.
This kind of went to a more of a kind of hub.
I need to
setup.
I need to ask. Can I interrupt real quick?
Yes.
I need to ask about that because I don't. I can see how that's the perception, but I don't know if I agree that that's the actual reality of what happened. I don't know if that diagram holds up.
I mean, I would say not. That doesn't look like that's not Lobata right on the left.
No, this
I mean, I feel like this is a lot what I saw with the early Bob Z ones. I mean, I think it was all on James to come up with stuff, and then Jeremy and Levi would sit in the meeting and be like, "Okay, I'll try and work with that." But
I agree with that, but that's one case, right?
The structure was intended to be this.
Yes.
But because of dynamics and team structure and former leadership, the perception was more like this.
I don't know, how did you find out? How did you react?
I found out because Carol called me on Friday night. She was trying to get a hold of me, and which I appreciate, because that's the right thing to do.
Was that a shock?
Yes. Yeah, it was for me. Yeah, it was definitely hard for me for quite a long time to deal with that. I can't imagine anybody in my position would have had an easier time. I talked to a lot of people about it, at the leadership level, and I listened to what they said. Ultimately, I personally don't know if the situation was handled in the best manner. I understand why everything was done. Maybe that's ultimately how it had to happen anyway, but yeah, I don't know. Thinking about it a little bit more, I'm not sure it's something I feel super comfortable talking about. Because I consider Zach a friend, and also understand a lot of people's criticisms of working under him on the project, even though I wasn't personally in the same position and didn't necessarily see those interactions in that way. I can't tell them they're wrong.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I want to make sure that there's just a good iterative process where each person is bringing their skill set to bear in terms of getting that actual stuff in 3D.
I mean, there's definitely been a confusion in the past of who gets final say in that process.
Yes.
Or does anyone get final say? Or I guess the fact that someone would ask who gets final say means they're not working well together. Because normally you'd be like, we want to make sure everyone's happy with what we're doing. It's two people working together, Yeah, I mean, we have, I would say, the biggest company value I always talk to everyone, even during interviews, job interviews, I say is really important to me. At Double Fine that we have mutual respect for each other. Because previous jobs I've had, you see a lot of rifts. Like there was a rift between the artists and the programmers on the past projects, and because they were in different buildings, and I've seen a lot of territorialism among disciplines. And I wanted to have it be that the programmers felt lucky to be working with artists of this caliber, and the artists felt lucky to be working in the audio department, and they respected the designers, and everyone had a lot of mutual respect. I feel like we really achieved that as a company here, and I felt like there was some negative relationships that were set up at the beginning of this project, some negative interactions that were just kind of festering.
But for instance, if you look in Forb right now, all the buildings are perfectly square lined up, and they totally don't need to be. Just little things like that.
But there's an interesting perspective. That's someone from design saying, why didn't art move these buildings in a way? Which is I feel like art's kind of not understanding or not knowing that they can move the buildings or what.
I want to draw a really quick distinction because I hear why you would think that's what it sounds like, but I really wish that's not what it sounded like.
It's kind of like Double Fine as a collaborative entity, just teaching people to talk about creative stuff and give feedback and to receive feedback, I think is an important thing. A lot of people can't take feedback, and I think just learning how to like just talk openly and politely and respectfully, but honestly about the game's state altogether, and reminding everyone that everyone has a say in the game that we're making was always why we did it in the past. And a lot of people don't realize how they feel about something until they hear other people talking about it too sometimes, which is helpful. So I feel like you could have both options open to people.
Well, the forums are anonymous, and that's to encourage people to share their opinions freely.
And I think that's good and bad. I think it's good that people can be honest if they feel like they can't be honest this meeting, but I think it's also like, why should we have to be anonymous to be honest with each other about how the game's state is? Like why can't we?
I'll come after you and ask you why. Like, and the thing is, like, Tim wants people to be happy, like, more than everyone. This place, from what I've heard, is just always been like a very happy place, a really cool place, and it still is, but some people aren't happy. And if they're unhappy, we're gonna figure out why and what we can do. I mean, it's fine if they smoke or vape and they'll come outside with me, but like nobody smokes here.
Found
Can you do that?
Found this in Tim's office. And
Tim hates that I smoke, and I'm just like, that I have some gossip that you don't know about because I do.
You're trying to document her smoking?
Yeah. He's just like, Naoka, that's not why I want you to smoke. And I'm like, no, I get it, but I don't know. He hates smoking so much. Which is fair.
I feel like we should be able to talk about things we like and don't like in the game without worrying about hurting each other's feelings. Like learning to talk about it in a way that's not like, I'm not saying you're a bad artist. I'm saying like this, I couldn't see this thing because it wasn't bright enough. Like, why can't we? Do we need to be anonymous to get those things out?
It's really difficult to be like the singular voice of dissent about something.
Has that ever happened to you, Brian? Is that? But I think there's still hard feelings. I think a lot of people have their defenses up. A lot of people who feel like their areas of ownership and responsibility on the project have been trodden on. They've been trespassed upon, so they put these big walls up to make sure that doesn't happen again. But in a project where things are functioning really well, you don't need those big, razor wire over every wall. You can be more relaxed about that. And I think trying to get the team into that more relaxed state where people are feeling good about, collaborating across walls and getting along.
It's very hard not to take your art or your passion personally. And I know, I'm sure everybody in this room has struggled with that at some time, especially early on in our careers and stuff. But part of being in a profession like this is learning not to take it personally. So somebody doesn't like my art, okay, that used to make me literally cry.
We need to be able to communicate with each other in an effective way. And that was something that was seriously lacking under Zach because nobody felt comfortable doing it. You can't criticize design. If you criticize design, you're criticizing Zach, and therefore everything is just shut down. Each discipline is equally important in making a game, and I feel that he put a lot more emphasis on design than anybody else, and then questioned everything that we did instead of supporting or guiding.
Yeah, because I've had managers who said that looks like shit, and that was their entire feedback, and that's not helpful.
It's like
You know.
anybody's opinion is just an opinion.
We're learning. We're all learning. And she chose to give you that feedback right here.
I mean, there are probably numerous things that I would go back and do differently and hopefully do better. We played through the game last Tuesday as a leads group, and we're able to just look at a ton of stuff in context and see the shape of the game, as a whole.
Whoa, that makes me feel weird.
And yeah, just doing that, I was like, wow, if I was solving this particular creative problem again, I would not have chosen to do that. So I think there's a lot of aspects of the game now looking back we would do differently.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean what's there is necessarily bad. It just means what, the solution for fixing going forward is like, do we want to make what's there better, or do we want to change it, or yeah.
Just for the record, I'm totally lost right now. But I know, but where was the class? I don't remember where it was.
Let you know that the leads we played through the whole game, asterisk, on Tuesday.
And we didn't fight once.
We didn't fight once. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
The point of this was for the leads to kind of look at what's next and expectations of time that we'll want to spend per level as we move forward. And so when we looked at all of them, we were able to kind of rank them on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 being that level doesn't need too much work, and 5 being, well, Hollis would be a 5, for example.
Half of it.
So
parts of it, not
parts of it. 4.5.
Solid 4.
Solid. You guys say whatever you want to say. That's fine. And there's work going to try to figure out all this out. Other news. Some of you have already heard. Ryan will be leaving Double Fine. His last day is going to be next Friday. He will be missed. I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
Speech.
I'm assuming up to now in the documentary, it will be obvious to viewers that it has not been the easiest project on Earth. Have I been doing what I necessarily want to be doing? Not all the time. I would have enjoyed being a little more hands-on. And so, yeah, it never really felt like I got to jump onto anything and to like really sink my teeth into. And something that my wife and I have been talking about, especially now that we have a son, is wanting to live closer to family. So there's another opportunity that came up that gives us a chance to do that. And so, I don't know, kind of everything being considered all together for me right now, that felt like it was the best thing to do. Yeah.
So thank you, Ryan. Yep. So, you know, in terms of like what that position's going to shake out to and what the leadership think, we're still working that out, how the level design team will kind of shape out. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I miss you guys. Like you asked earlier, but you know, I'll miss working on Psychonauts too. Like it's a cool project for all of its difficulties. There's a lot of really neat things there, and the team is doing some really, really cool stuff. And I'll absolutely miss that. There's definitely a sense of regret for the things that I won't be here for. And I feel a little of that already, but I'm also pretty sure the team's gonna do some amazing things, so I'm excited about it too.
Make a good game. I'll try.
Do you feel like Ryan leaving, was that just...
No.
Was it inevitable?
I don't think it was inevitable in that it was a choice. You could have been like, well, there's a vacuum, and I could step into it, or I could step away from it. And he chose to step away from it, and I'm kind of stepping into it.
Zach's whole thing was puzzle churches, and I don't think those are very Psychonauts.
Sure, play that card. Play the Z card.
Because my biggest experience with hospitals, and I've been in them a lot in the last few months.
Play that card too. Dude, that's when we started Hollis, right?
Yeah.
And Hollis is a little bit of a problem child. I don't know if you know this. I don't know what it is. There's something's going on.
The thing that I'm most concerned about the level is, are we living up to like the central premise of, here's this hospital that's been creepily infested with Vegas. Like this area that's supposed to be about like the Hippocratic Oath and like dedication to patients and health has been, you know, corrupted to be like rolling dice with people's lives and stuff like that. And just having that imagery feel wrong in the space and feel like you're in this hospital is somewhat, it has not yet, I think it's not yet been paid off in the level. And I think, because that's the high concept of the level. That's something we really have to hit over and over again, strengthen it. And I inserted myself most heavily into the Hollis level because there are these parts of the old level that I felt weren't really living up to the potential of it. It felt like it was all in a big shoebox. And it didn't look like a mental world to me. I want no environment to look like a box ever in the world. No more boxes. No more shoeboxes. All rhombuses. Yeah, from now on. That's a secret shape.
Tim wanted concept art to sort of reinvent Hollis, sort of give some shape of the room, some new ideas, shake it up a little bit.
Yeah, I was just thinking about how the levels went in the first game. Once we had our groove down, kind of, and how people they didn't really hand things off because they overlapped a lot from one discipline to another. But there was an area for everyone to collaborate, but not all collaborate all at once, but to collaborate in their areas when the concept art was kind of free to go wild with concept art, and then have it kind of then pulled into a game flow by design, and then the gameplay programmers and the world builders work together to like make the actual level out of that. And so I wanted to grab some of the concept artists and just pull them into a room and just come up with new crazy ideas of what the level could look like. But I didn't really communicate that well to anybody because I was still kind of trying to be stealth and come in there, and it was a really bad idea. And they had self-organized into having different leadership for different levels. And Jeff was in charge of the Hollis team, and I didn't know that. This is what I get for coming in from more on the outside. I was like, why does Jeff like to stand by the whiteboard during all the meetings?
But I mean, we can
that's more
repurpose
what
it.
I'm talking about.
But we can
like,
repurpose that stuff
No,
for other
we could literally just look at all the assets, look at what we want to keep, look at how much we don't want to make, and say, what do we want to make with all of this stuff?
Yes.
I think is what James.
Like, we like the morgue, we like the centrifuge.
I'm just trying to do it like Lobato, which is like a series of, like every moment in Lobato is a big, interesting moment.
Yeah, but before we did any of that, we figured out what the structure of the space was, and then we talked about what was going to happen between those locations, which we're skipping over all of that, which is a little frustrating for me, because we're not doing this like we did Lobato. This is, the way we're approaching Hollis.
This was a different beast, though. I think for Lobato, Jeff was the best for the situation and the circumstance. And I don't know if it fits perfectly on top of the Hollis method.
Whatever weird process we created for Lobato, while it was functional in some ways, it's not necessarily the process that Tim sees for the project either. So we went from Zach regime to chaos, and now Tim's coming in. And while I think that's a good thing overall, it also means, okay, well now things are going to change completely again. Not to mention, this is a team that Zach built, and he's gone. So whatever intention he had is completely changing, and there's a lot of tension about should concept artists be creating the beats? Should it be level designers? Should programmers be involved in any of these meetings? Tensions are high, and emotions are high.
If we want to do it like Lobato, that wasn't part of Lobato. Like it wasn't like.
Wait, I'm gonna stop.
No, but it wasn't like
I want to stop all this talking right now because I feel like we were kind of on a plan that I think will lead to. I think that we don't need to nitpick any future stuff right now.
I think the next step
just
is
handle
for
this.
Gigi and myself to start doing some concepts of these things mixed with gambling.
Yeah, and then we can talk about laying the quest flow on there. And if we come to things in the quest flow we don't like anymore, don't fit anymore, we can throw them out. But that's a future problem.
Yeah.
That we don't need to litigate at this moment.
Yes.
That's a great word to throw out. I mean, if you want to shut people up, by the way, just litigate, right? I don't want to litigate this right now.
James, we'll be all right. We'll talk. Okay?
Yeah.
Are you upset a little bit?
No.
And so Gigi and myself went and drew blue sky stuff. And it had to be hospital, and it had to be casino. And those two had to marry together. And we did a shit ton of concept art.
Box. Oh no, box. Box. Oh no. Oh no, it's a box. It's in the box. It's in the box. It's in the box. No, put the box. It's a box.
I need to go to Vegas. Why am I even here?
You don't need to go to Vegas, you're fine.
No, I know, but I just need to experience it once. So I'm like,
Wait,
okay.
wait. Can I have your wallet?
All right, here you go.
Yeah, oh, it's mine. What about maternity roulette? What about Pilchinko? What about heart racing? Like a thing from a casino and a thing from a hospital. You jam it together. We've been sort of chewing over this level for the past week and trying to distill what's most important. And all the interns and Raz go into Hollis's brain. This is the big thing. This is a big change. I know. And then all of a sudden the Lictopus is introduced early. And she comes up and is big and scary and menacing, and the shadow goes over them. Oh no. And grabs them 2 by 2. So your mission is to go find your friends now. So you have something to do in there. We could have the areas that we've already modeled, and we could put like Aaron and Morris in Area 1, and you could solve a mental connection puzzle or a combat puzzle.
I mean, it does, I think, improve this thing for the interns, for sure. I don't see it cutting anything, but it definitely adds to it.
But I mean, like, we wouldn't do the missions of, like, doing the high roller.
I think you also have to do those. So here's why. So I think the problem is that I think this is really cool for the story path about the interns. It makes that stuff better. But it makes the level no longer about Hollis and no longer about Hollis's problem. And it seems like all the biggest quests and stuff in the level have to be about gambling and have to be about Hollis and her problem still.
But like defeating the Electopus isn't doing something for Hollis?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's also my comment on that boss fight when you guys first did it, is like, why is computers coming in as a theme now?
Is
Or is medical
EKG.
equipment? Is a piece of medical equipment? Then I guess,
medical.
yeah. Okay.
We got a lot of meetings of you being like, okay, here's the idea, Tim, and then him being like,
His little dance, his little Tim dance, his little. Yes, I know the Tim dance. I don't want to say I hate it, but I hate it. So I'm doing a little dance. I can't make this work dance in my brain, you know?
Because right now, I think there are people with very different visions of what this level is. And I think that's our biggest problem is trying to have you guys brainstorm this week and everyone having very different ideas about what this level is the core challenge we're going to have when we open this up to the wider team.
I saw a lot of cool concepts on Friday. Does it mean you guys just starting over completely, or?
Yeah, we're pretty much throwing out the Hollis Casino and starting again.
And I don't know how to solve it. Like, even a pharmacy and a, well, what are some of the other things that we're talking about? Like, these things are very, very similar.
I'm about to say,
very
right,
similar.
is the question, what's the difference between the pharmacy wing of a hospital and the cardiac wing of a hospital and the maternity wing of a hospital?
Yeah, they're all the boxes.
Well, that's
They're all white boxes with
They're all
different
boxes.
equipment in
Well,
them.
I'm saying we've
Yeah.
done all we can from the
And then, like, Tim wants us to have ownership over things, but he has his own ideas. So it's sort of like, can I do this? Will people get upset if I do this?
That's why Hollis has been so fucking weird to work on this last week.
It does feel like Tim is rediscovering that he doesn't like designers.
Why?
Well, I mean, coming up with the core gameplay hook seems like a designer thing to do.
Seems like anybody thing to do. I mean, that's what these teams are about. So there's the whole design team, which under the Zach regime, their responsibility was to decide what this game was and make it. And everybody else's responsibility was to make tools or art for them. That was the reality as I saw it. And the transition from that to a collaborative environment has been a rough one. We have some super nice people who are designers on this team, but taking their level and being like, okay, we're gonna work on this level, we're gonna completely recreate it, and it's gonna be a team thing, and you're no longer in charge of it. That's gotta be rough.
I think Tim's just embracing his, like, now he's creative director.
Yeah.
Also. So.
I mean, he is a designer. He's a game designer.
The designers are orphans.
Ryan was the mom?
Ryan was mom. Ryan had to go somewhere else. I really like the X-ray box room. I really like the idea of going through and seeing those things come up and then having a conversation around there. I think I would want to keep that one. And Ryan was the lead, and they went to him for one-on-ones or like, hey, this is not working, can you look at this? And now it's just, there's a house with no head right now.
Though they often have nominated Lauren to be their interface with the rest of it. Like, you go to the leads meeting and tell us what happened.
For example, one example that got brought up was your like stumps with the pyro stumps. That it felt maybe a little taken off guard or something. Like,
wait, what?
Or like Amy got taken off guard by it. Maybe. I think that's what I got.
She turned it around super cool. This is the first time hearing about this, so
Yeah.
that's a problem. Yeah, I hope that was okay.
Yeah.
Because if it's not, then I have big questions about how we're expected to work together.
It's weird sometimes. I don't know.
We're going to start integrating the engineers a little bit more in conversations and try to
I'm trying to be more helpful to the level designers and I go to level design meetings, and it's actually been great because I've gotten to spend some time with the designers and see they're very supportive of each other, because I think in that time when there's a lot of negativity going on, I think they learn to rely on each other and trust each other.
And then the last thing I'm playing around with is just not always treating these as paths, but treating them as blockers as well, since we're doing powers now. So like, if you have mental connection on one path, that's preventing you from getting to the next one. And
Are we ever going to get a presentation on like the new mental connection and what it does and doesn't do and all that? Like, or did I miss a team meeting? Or
Mental connection has been such a problem child, I think, for a long time, that people have just been overly cautious about rolling out, because
For me too, like, and I know you told me not to worry about this, but knowing what is happening in those rooms, I know that we're like, okay, it's maternity roulette, and it's like, cool, but knowing how it actually functions helps me create a better room. But I get stressed, like saying, it's Pulchenko, it's racing, and then we don't know what mental connection does. And we haven't tested it out. All of a sudden I see the mechanic and the potential for it, and then I would draw on top of it, and we talk about it. Anyway, yes, I get it. Just make a cool room.
So I'll be just doing whatever it takes to support that today. I think overall we still need a group meeting around mental connection and environments, because it's blocking work on the mini games and how we're actually going to resolve those. So we need to get a meeting scheduled for that.
The latest thing that's getting overhauled is the mental connection, and that has gone through lots of different iterations.
It's still kind of doing that.
So we have enemies on platforms.
And that instigated a punchy fight?
Well, it's going to.
It carries you.
It never had this one sort of statement of what it was supposed to do. And we have a bunch of like conflicting needs for it.
And then the pathfinding, I was a little confused on, because it seemed like you're just following one, like, that. I'm not sure what your choices are when you're pathfinding. Like, are you just going from one to one, or do you have some choice there?
So there are branches, and you're using a power and you're aiming it. So we're trying to simplify that part of it.
We always it always seemed really cool in the beginning of Psychonauts 1 to have like 3 cantilevers in a row, 3 H-bowls in a row, because like, wow, that's cool, that I just moved really fast. But really, the player didn't really do anything. They just kind of like, boom, boom, boom. Or rail slides often seem really dynamic and cool, but then you're like, I didn't really, as a player, I just kind of sat there. So like, just like the mental connection thing, you just made it look easy. It's really actually challenging for a player to do that.
I think what Tim is asking does make sense, because it does feel like you're just following a linear path, and where's the skill element to it? And I am worried about that.
That was, oh man, that was all part of Hollis. I feel like every power just reflects where the team was at with whatever level they were working on. So this is, I think, the first biggest challenge in sort of like collaborating with a bunch of different departments. And I guess Tim is a department in that description, to try to deliver something that can please everyone. I mean, we're gonna land on something in the next few weeks. Something has to be decided.
So what do we need to do to decide how to move forward on this?
Well, I mean, it feels like it's, I think that I like the direction. I was just bringing up risks. I feel like that's something I'd like to see prove out, I don't know what is blocking, like the mocking up I guess is a decision about the design of the octopus that blocks the actual prototyping of the octopus combat and the octopus
Whether or not
powers.
you like the idea at all.
I actually see,
Great.
Would you be happy with?
I did. I tried to.
Oh, what are we talking about right
I don't
now?
know, what could I do?
Is there anything you'd be happy with creatively? Tim, would you ever approve anything?
Sometimes you get burnt out. You get burnt out after a while, trying to make the same like 2 things work together.
I need a new.
You need a new thinking paper.
I need new thinking paper. Like, so I don't know.
That was actually super cool. How you were on top of that tower and you jumped off and then you picked like which way to go because there were a bunch of nodes down below you.
So we'll do something like that, but like less shit.
That was cool.
I think Hollis is just its own pain point, and I think Tim trying to use the process in Psychonauts 1 with you guys without fully understanding of the process that got us here is where we kind of hit a big roadblock.
Okay.
And I think a lot of this last few weeks is actually Tim figuring out what is the process we've used and how does that meld with what he has in his head that worked before.
You got Hollist.
I got Hollis.
Everybody who's worked on this level comes out stressed on the other side.
Slap. You got Hollis.
Probably gonna be one of our best levels.
Probably.
It better be.
This one ended up being good because you still need to deflect the stick to connect to the next one, but not by much.
Yeah.
And also, if you miss, it's actually really easy to fall.
That's
shit.
That's super
pretty
cool.
fun, you guys.
Like we need more of that somehow.
Like falling and then catching yourself.
Yeah, or having to jump out.
There could be some cool speedrun strats in here.
It's actually pretty cool if you have to, for some of them, jump out.
jump.
Like a leap of faith kind of thing, and then you shoot it out.
Put like a figment somewhere or something
Yeah.
that says that you can do this.
Yeah.
You can do this.
I don't think it was on purpose, but like the way the camera sort of bounces.
As very much on
No,
purpose.
it's very much on
It's
purpose.
great. It helps a lot.
I've got a little bit of anticipation and a little bit of bounce when you like get in there, and it's supposed to feel real stretchy as you're flying along, so it makes you feel fast.
Yeah, that was really enjoyable. Was actually falling and catching myself.
Yes.
I don't know why it's so fun, but it is.
Because it's, I don't know, it's really fun.
As a concept.
Let's just change it back to what it was before.
It sounds like people are a lot more excited about it now.
Yeah, not well. Yeah.
I can see like now where now like places that a challenge could appear make complete sense, and it's like there's more than enough options for how to accomplish that. So it seems like it's got a really good skeleton then.
Like,
yeah.
see, we have like this already going on up here.
Yeah.
And we're not necessarily going with this. We're just like coming up with a whole bunch of concepts, but I can see that in here already. It's done.
Yeah. No, yeah.
All right, let's roll.
Holy moly.
Here is some art.
Ladies
Look
are
at all
doing
the
a
art.
lot of art.
Been very busy.
We are at
That's one
what,
page.
60 drawings for the third version
More,
of the reboot?
more.
Oh, we're at what, 60?
We're at like 7 or something.
70?
But who's counting?
All right. The exterior of her hospital, and she is the hospital. The idea is that she is so consumed with her work that she is now becoming her work. So when you first see her in your mental world, you see her as the hospital. And then you enter the ER, and the ER is a relative gravity space inside of a pill bottle. So it's important for those windows to be like orange or have like a glass entrance so that we can get that sense of being inside of a pill bottle when you're in there.
And where's the player stand? Is that
Or they pop up.
Are they down? Where's the player? Like to see him, it seems like you have to be up there, maybe hopping on the beds. Like you're like hopping from gurney to gurney, stepping on the patients, and just.
We did like the idea of just jumping around on beds, and it would be interesting to bring that back.
And we don't even have to make that all logically work, right? There's just like when you're dreaming and someone's floating next to you, and they're like.
Yeah.
Nice room shape, GG.
It's beautiful.
What's the shape of the room?
It's a
Fucking
circle.
circle, Tim. Right.
No boxes.
How far off were we from being able to make any of this?
I think the classroom, I think there's enough there for the space to be built.
But it sounds like you're cool with the ideas.
I like all those ideas.
And I'll get an updated version of a few of these, and I'll find a blackboard to keep this up somewhere.
Cool.
Cool. Awesome.
Hooray.
Progress.
Beer.
Yay, decisions.
Hey, have some beer, guys.
And then we
Stuff.
do an alpha state and then move on to white box.
Is it? But for the white boxing.
I can't figure out what the before and after state looks like, but I think this could be the same room. I think this could be the same. We are going to fix this.
Thank you, Emily.
Thank you, Gigi. One hair pulling meeting at a time.
I love this clamshell.
It's clamshell, like a birth control sort of thing, and that she's on it, and she's the queen of. I don't know. We can get into some of like the womanly like anxiety stuff that she has. She's an anxious person. She's in a man's world, and she has to.
She's chosen not to have kids. She's not had kids.
And she's like, I didn't have a kid because I had a career, sort of thing.
So that's where we are with concept. I think we are at a point where we can kind of back off a little and let gameplay kind of get figured out, and then we'll come back to start doing paint overs.
It's kind of hard in this, like, at this point, like, concept is at the beginning, so a lot of it's like you push off these little boats to like go free little boat, find your journey, and sort of at the end I'm just like a cheerleader going go.
Hello, everybody. How's it going? This is an exciting day. We are signing a final contract with Microsoft today.
That we will need to have like a boss. There's gonna be something. I think that's fine. Hello. Hey, how are you? Howdy. Yeah, we're gonna need to have some sort of.
He really liked your shirt.
I could tell.
There's Denise, and Tim is hopefully coming. I hope he's coming.
We kept thinking he was going to pop up on here.
Nah.
Oh, there he is.
There he is.
Hey, hello. Hi, everybody. You guys are excited. So what happened last week in the world of business, Mr. Rice? Any announcements? We have been working for a long time on this deal, I don't know if you heard about this, with the Xbox Games Corporation. That's not what they're called. So we signed an LOI back when we announced it at E3, like very quickly before that. And then we've been doing due diligence. There's like been 350 or 500 due diligence items that Greg, what? 601. Thank you for having that. Proving that we actually like own the rights to Brutal Legend, things we thought we had proof of, but we had to look it up. And I'm happy to announce that as of 9 p.m. last night, it is officially signed and sealed and done, and we are now officially part of Microsoft, one of those companies up there. Don't use that in the documentary, please. So, yeah, thank you. And also, it means that there's going to be some raises. There's going to be some bonuses. And for people who've been here, we're given stock options. There's going to be some stock payouts. And we're going to actually have to move on that stuff really quick, get that taken care of, and pay people these things. So we're going to be meeting with everybody this afternoon. Really, we have to split it up amongst ourselves to meet with everybody to say, like, whoop, here's a list of things that you get. So I think that's it. That's it. Please join me with some champagne right out here. Yeah. Or you can wait in here.
Did it.
Some people have been with the company for, our whole history. And they've been through several periods where we were very low on money and it was very unsure what was going to happen. And a lot of people bailed and a lot of people didn't, and they're still here. And it was really nice to be able to come out to a lot of those people and be like, remember that weird stock document I had you sign that time? It's actually, you actually get to participate in this acquisition in that way. Who knows if that's why they were sticking around, but I don't think that's why they were sticking around. But it was nice to have some reward for those people who have been so dedicated and part of this roller coaster ride for so long. All right, cheers, everybody! Cheers! Hey, old timer.
Hey, man.
Hey,
Congratulations.
didn't like the way it came out, and
How could I do it better? Because what I'm hearing from you is that you don't want to hear it at all, and that we're trying, and that I should just have faith in. I've heard that so many times in this room about so many things.
I don't think anyone said just have faith, and I don't think anyone said don't bring this stuff up. That's bullshit. Everybody, who's been acquired? Xbox? No. Microsoft? One of those companies up there.
Ryan will be leaving Double Fine.
And I'm kind of stepping into it.
Okay, well now things are going to change completely again.
Are we hitting our goals with this level? Is this level psychonautical? Is it good? Do we love it?
Hollis is a little bit of a problem child.
I don't know.
I want to stop all this talking right now. Yeah. What is the right amount of work to do for the rest of this game? We're against crunch mode. We talk about it publicly. We talk about it with the team.
We kind of all made a pact with each other that that would not happen again.
Finally.
My favorite thing about that was Tim backed up what he's always said, which is he wants to take care of people, which was, I really got that he kind of went out of his way to make sure that happened. So I was happy about that. It's good to have a CEO like that.
Hey, y'all. Hey, bud. I opened an E-Trade account.
Why?
I think everybody has had different perspectives since then. I've never seen money like that here. I've been taught in the audio industry, if you do see that, like, enjoy it. Like, that's not why I got into this industry.
I have been doing this for nearly 10 years and have spent a lot of effort and lost a lot of money making sure that I'm working for independent studios. Like, so the day that was announced, I was like, wow, that was like a rug being pulled out from under me. I think it was probably the right thing to do for Double Fine. I mean, I'd rather Double Fine exist than not exist. But it also just sort of like settled that, like, okay, I didn't know what we were gonna do because we could not have shipped these levels as they are. Well, for me, I don't know. I think Double Fine is still the best place in the industry to work, and I'm glad that that's sticking around.
Well, I mean, we took the decision really seriously, and we knew that some people might not like it. But we were very open about what we were thinking about, and we told them our reasons why. So far, I don't think anyone's left over it. But I think it'll be good. I think it'll be good. Or cut to the part in the documentary where I made fun of Microsoft for telling us to cut the humor out of Psychonauts. Humor should be incorporated into the game as a secondary or supporting characteristic. Humor should be simplified and made immediately apparent. That's the thing. They're not like that anymore. Yeah, it is a whole different group of people. And a different philosophy that I think comes from the top down about how to integrate studios.
It's fine.
What's Friday going to be?
What's
Are we
Friday?
having a team meeting on Friday?
We are, because we're going to be doing it in the afternoon because I moved it from the morning because of the booty appearance. So we're going to do it.
At some point, that has to stop being
It's
funny,
called
you
mooning.
guys.
So,
I'm saying we do it as much as possible now. Get that out of your system. Booty, booty, booty. He loves Tutti Frutti and his son's named Rudy. Come on.
Then you had Mr. Booty.
Once we slide the roller coaster into the final loop, and Mr. Booty's there. Not Booty, who is he was the person who actually changed my mind about acquisition because I was not looking to get acquired, and I asked him, because we were talking about it, and asked him how it had gone in the past and what their philosophy was about it.
Our success comes down to one thing: creating great games that players love. And great games come from great developers.
And when he explained the idea of the limited integration how they're not trying to turn them into Microsoft Studios and to hang their logos up on the front door and change our emails over and get us to do things differently. They want us to just stay who we are and do things our way. Two-Player Productions takes over that documentary creatives. They linger and staying here and they're just documenting everything we do.
For real?
Yeah. And I wanted him to come down and let the team ask all the questions they wanted of him.
Just quickly, a little bit about me, and I'll only share that just so that I hope I can impart that I have a real deep appreciation for the craft of making games and what you do day to day. I started making games back at a place in Chicago called Midway. I worked on pinball games and video games. It's funny seeing like Mortal Kombat up there. I worked with Ed Boon back when on his whiteboard somebody walked in and crossed out the C and put a K. So I remember when that happened. I have a pretty strict rule about not sticking my nose into game design. I am here to tell you, and I will say, that our goal is to change as absolutely little about this studio as possible. One of the things, and then we can just open it up to questions, but I just want to address one thing because it kept coming up. I was surprised to hear how much the moonlighting topic came up. So I wanted to just like address that one head on.
Even though most of our concerns, because we are a creativity first company, there's questions about ownership. A lot of people have side creative things they do. They write children's books or play in bands or something, and they want to make sure that will be able to continue under Microsoft.
Where the moonlighting only really starts to be something that we even really need to have a conversation about is if you are making something that directly competes or conflicts with what happens here. And that really is going to boil down to making a game.
It's just that the thing is, it's like corporations like Microsoft always have the advantage. Because I've seen this happen to friends of mine who have released games, and this has happened, and then the company has gone after them, and they were like, even though I had a nice little handshake agreement, they still ended up having to pay that company.
So if you really want to go run a startup, quit and go run a startup, right? And so I'm not trying to chase anybody away. That's not trying to be harsh language. But if you work on something and suddenly it starts to pick up traction and you're like, hey, this thing is going big, I think you've got a choice as a person to make. The reality is that once something is kind of in these walls, Double Fine owns it, right?
Although where that comes to conflict a little bit is where we're doing this Amnesia Fortnite pitch.
Yep.
And we have always, as a company, said that we don't own the ideas until we actually produce them in the Amnesia Fortnite game jam. But before people submit them, they work on them in their own time, on their own computers, and they do, at some point, tell the ideas. And a lot of them don't get selected, and we've always maintained that we don't own those.
Yeah, we're going to have to sort through that, because I don't know, someday down the road we might want to go back and say, ha, that was a great idea, you know, we should go make that game, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is something we have to figure out, because we're doing that process right now, and people are already pitching based on that promise that I already made.
Yeah.
That we don't own it.
That's great. No.
Because that's what we've done for years.
So, and I'm not out, like, anything that you've done like that, well, we'll honor that, right? But I would say that before you do the next one, we got to clean that up a little bit, because it's a messy boundary, right?
The one thing I saw was the subject about pitches when Booty was like, well, we should have a discussion about that. I think that's fair. And like, he didn't come out and just be like, oh no, you can't do this, and we should, you know, you have to go back on your word and like do all this stuff. Like the fact that he said, well, next time we need to talk about how that's going to happen. I think that's fine. And I think he's right. I think it is about protection for both parties. And I noticed Tim was surprised at that, but I think that's something good for us to learn, because we've never had to think about that.
Over time, you're just going to we have to establish trust, right? Like trust is earned, it's not given. So we got to earn your trust. I'm confident that we can work out something that's good for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they had tough questions about that. I think he answered them. All right. Well, thanks for coming, everybody. Thank you. Good job, young man. Good job. Well spoken. Well spoken. But in general, you know, all those questions make it seem like people were really nervous about it. And I think some people have a lot of questions about the acquisition, but I think most people are just really excited to be able to focus on the creative side and not worry so much about all the deals. Because we're very transparent about the deals. We're like, well, we're pitching this publisher next week, and that last publisher that we pitched to last week, they passed on us. And so, you know, they've heard all these stories. I think they're probably looking forward to not hearing those stories anymore.
Are Microsoft people coming?
We're all Microsoft people.
Yeah, just 60 of the best Microsoft people there are.
Andy is of the belief that as the deadlines get more and more looming, and Microsoft remembers they've spent millions of dollars, that
Call me a pessimist.
honeymoon phase may end.
The guys who are in charge, dude, look, Matt Booty and Phil Spencer, top-notch dudes. Super respect those guys. They're great. They're gonna come in, smile, point. You guys keep on doing what you do. Woo, we're gonna be like, yeah. 2 days later, Steve from accounting and Bill from marketing shows up. Then we have problems.
I don't think they're coming to the Christmas party. It's just us. So no. So unfortunately, I've saved the worst for last. I have some bad news I'd like to share. I normally don't talk about, in this meeting, announce when people are leaving the company, but this one is a very important one. Someone who's been here about 10 years, who's been here a long time. And they're leaving on good terms. They're friendly to the company, but I think we've known as soon as we started talking about acquisition, there's this potential for Greg's job to change a lot. And a lot of his job being worrying about money, is going away. So although we could, invent a lot of new responsibilities for Greg to do, there's still stuff he's working on. I think Greg is understandably looking for the next step in his adventure and is going to be looking for that outside the company.
Yep. One last time.
Yeah. I didn't think about going ever until all the Microsoft stuff wrapped up. I think we did a good job of holding on to what is special about Double Fine and making sure that was protected and not going to be touched in as much as possible by Microsoft, and that we can kind of just keep doing what we do. But kind of my job was the one thing that we weren't able to hold on to, I feel like.
And it's been, when you think about Greg's job and that being a journey to actually set us right and have us not worry about money anymore, you pretty much did that. So job done. Good job.
Yeah, that's what made it so exciting. It's a crazy roller coaster. The fact that we were able to write it out and make it work so long and end up in such a good spot is a real testament to a lot of people working real hard over here. Not gonna make it easy, huh? Yeah, I'm gonna be going to PlayStation, which is kind of funny in the scope of things. Just, I guess, a competitor of Microsoft.
But we are, we owe Greg a lot.
I love the guy. He's the best. I mean, it was the reason I wanted to come here. It's the reason everybody's wanted to come here.
He's been the best mentor and leader, and I couldn't have wished for a better last decade of my life. But I'll still be around.
Not the last decade of your life.
Hopefully not. Yeah.
It's going to be a big change, but I don't think anything will be able to change stuff between us.
Thank you, Greg.
We're gonna talk about Greg leaving and get really sad.
Oh, yeah.
That Greg though.
You
want to get depressed?
Can't go to that thing.
Greg, you can't. He's been here for 10 years. Is that right? I'll drink for you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah.
You can bring this.
That's crazy. The Kickstarter was obviously something I'll never forget. And then being able to have the opportunity to lead production on that and get to work alongside Tim on an adventure game that was inspired by all the games he made that I grew up playing is unforgettable. The fact that we're doing Psychonauts 2 is crazy now, and obviously there's been a lot of changes on the project. It feels like the team is really coming together now and clicking. I think especially the Amnesia Fortnite recently was really good to get people to take a break and get them collaborating with different people. A lot of going back to the basics and figuring out what's working and what's not, which is nice to see.
Over half of you said it was awesome, which is cool. So the vast majority of people had a really good experience in AF this year, which was great for the company. 90% of the people thought that their project leads did great. Asif, a gracious, inspired, and encouraging team lead. So it was really great to sort of see everybody really work with everybody else and appreciate each other.
There we go. Wow, she can dance now too.
Wow.
Yeah. But anyway, whatever you guys, hey, welcome back to the project, everybody. It's good to have you back. We got 4 whole new levels that we're working on. New level teams.
right.
Well, I'm excited about getting back to work on Second House 2 because I think I learned a lot personally in that last milestone with Hollis.
So then we're just planning to not hit first playable then? Anybody?
I think Hollis suffered from a couple of different things, like growing pains in changing the way we develop levels.
That caused a lot of confusion, which I think added a lot of uncertainty, and that level kind of, its new ideas got really convoluted and floundered for a while.
Pilchenko, that'll be some sort of organ Pilchenko machine eventually.
Yep. And yeah, I need to.
So it looks like a pharmacy, right? That's the thing.
It is.
Yes.
It is a pharmacy. Yeah.
That level has a lot of promise, but it's not fully as far along as we'd like it to be. What the? Oh my God.
Yeah. So have we talked about how we needed to make that so he falls into the ambulance on this?
Yeah.
Okay, so right now the ambulance starts up at the top, and up is
so
and up is down and down is up, and I'm gonna fix all of this today.
I think that looks kind of cool back there, though. It looked a little too suggestive, but other than that, I think it was kind of cool with the shadows. I think we know what the level is now, so we can come back to it later with a fresh start, because I think the team was a little burnt out on it by the time we were done. But I think it's going to be good now. I think overall, it's still better that we rebooted it and came up with new ideas for it, because the new ideas are much more fitting to the theme of hospital and casino. You know, it looks much more like a crazy world that would only exist in a dream. So I like it, but it needs a little more time.
We did really good this sprint in terms of like the tasks that got entered, but we landed 70% of what we committed to getting done got done. And that's kind of an average, just so you know. Every time we commit to do work in a sprint, if we only complete 70% of it, then we're gonna have 70% of a video game.
And yes, this isn't a perfect process, but this is the means by which we have to get this done.
And I think we've learned a lot about planning the levels better as a team. And so I'm excited about doing these next 4 levels in a lot smoother production methods, right? Yeah. Cut to the end of the milestone when I'm like totally frazzled. Like, well, we learned a lot. No, but I have high hopes for this next set of milestones because I think we've worked through a lot of points of order. And so it ties into like the general, are we clear about how GPs and level designers hand off their work yet? Like, it seemed like there was all this discussion on Hollis of like, I didn't know you guys were working on this puzzle. I could have wired that up in one day and we would have met our milestone and all this.
Information falls through the cracks around here a lot, even though we assume people are talking and they're not. I mean, we get rid of Slack. That'll force people to talk to each other.
Getting rid of Slack would fix that.
Interesting.
We've had process discussions in the past, and they haven't. We're still sitting here talking about how we can get people to work together.
I mean, there's that. And then there's another way of looking at it, which is we could also be really serious and empower these leads of all these teams to be like, you figure out your team's flow, because each level is different. Each level has different levels of questions and things that need emphasis. So should all the leads be working with their teams to really not strong arm them, but do not dictate either, but just like, what is the handoff on this team? So I think we got that now. So we're starting to plan the next group of levels. Now we're doing 4 levels at a time. And we have a level lead, which we didn't have in the old structure, which was a lead for the project that wasn't necessarily from one discipline. There's one from each discipline. We have Jeremy French from art, and we have Jeff, who was a lead before, Key from programming, and we have Seth from level design, who's going to be handling the stuff he's been handling so far, which is the outside world and the quarry and stuff. And so we have a lead from every discipline, so the whole project feels represented in one level team or another. And those level leads are in charge of making sure things move forward and being like a little project leader for those level groups.
And people can start talking to people and people start making shit. Like, that's what we need to do. I'm all for it. I think this is a great plan and I'm proud to be a part of it.
I have the utmost confidence in the mission and its continued success.
So I'm gonna be a fly on the wall.
Cool. Sounds good.
The level lead on this project team is
me,
Jeff. Okay.
Well, I think we should start to talk about like what are the big outstanding issues for Compton. From where I see it, and this is hearing from Tim a bit as well. It went far too toy box, not enough game show. And the level itself is probably a little large and spread out. And finding the ingredients are kind of confusing, mostly because of the visual noise of the space.
I think Asif has a lot of great ideas, but I think what happened was that he was literally left alone. Instead of having someone focus him on very particular things, he just kept going wider and wider and wider and wider, because there was no one there to say, "Hey, this is too much." And Will is very accommodating, and he just kept building more and more stuff, and it was just. Hollis was the same way. Like the first version of Hollis, the first version of Helmet, the first version of Bob Z, they all just kind of go.
But this whole look and the way it's interfacing the natural and the quarry rock and stuff all looks great.
Something I like about the first one you're showing there is like the path is very clear to me.
Did you get to play through the quarry the way it was before?
Yeah. It was a nightmare. We had all the paths going along the walls, and some came out a little bit, went back in, and it was just these overlapping crossing paths that once you got to an intersection, you weren't sure, is this the end of the path, or is that the beginning of a new path, or, it's very confusing, and with all that visual noise, that just added on to the clusterfuck of madness. I can tell you start on that right rock, and then you go to that left rock, and then there's the kind of the back rock, That's a good simplification, I think. Definitely a different managerial style since Zach's gone too. So, yeah, a lot of things are, I don't know if we're keeping anything really, like 100% the same.
Oh, okay. This is bad artwork. Don't use it. No, it's so bad. No, I have to do it so quickly.
And we got your write-up, kind of wide
Change the
view
whole
of things,
direction.
and we are fucked. No, so yeah, all about this kind of early factoring. And now we've got all of the architecture is made of hair. The environment's gonna be made of hair, everything hair.
So I think our decision coming out of that was that this is just, we're seeing Grulovia here. This is a Grulovian seaside town, and it's getting wrecked by like these apocalyptic tsunami flood tide kind of things, which are also hair, but they're like sculpted into like the giant wave shapes and stuff.
I mean, it definitely has like a setting now. I really like that it's like a place and not abstracted. And it still has Barbary things.
And then once you get to the lighthouse itself, gravity goes sideways. What if there are big droplets of water, or like Ford's face up here like crying?
Can we have Ford crying?
Sure.
Because his girlfriend is a crazy lady now.
Yeah, it's killed a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
Yeah. I've lived it.
It led to some really cool creative things. I think it's a really cool, oh my god, the fucking construction.